It'll be going in a minute. Okay, there we go.
Now talk my shit.
Nope.
Yeah, I let these niggas talk that shit all the motherfucking time. If you think I'ma keep quiet or something. Fuck that. If these niggas talk, I can talk my shit too, man. Why not?
You are now tuned in to the Talk Your Shit podcast.
Yo, what's up, people? This is the Talk Your Shit podcast, where two dudes and two pretty little women talk a lot of shit about a lot of shit. I am your captain of. Damn, I am your captain tonight, Jo. I am here with my man Wink. What's happening?
What's happening?
How's everything? You good? Are you good? Are you good, brother?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm wonderful, man. Nice to be back in the studio.
It is.
A lot of stuff has happened, but you know.
We're gonna get to that. We got 7 over here in the building.
Oh, a lot of stuff has happened.
Hi 7, how you?
I'm good for now.
That's good for now. That's awesome. She gonna get turned up in a minute. And Mara P. We got Mara P in the place to be. So, you know, it's been a lot of things happening around in the universe. And you know, we just gotta talk about it, man. We gotta talk about it. But you know, I want to say something real quick. I got a little grind. Getting a grind right now. Sunday. Yeah.
Happened on a Sunday.
Sunday. This Sunday coming is what?
The Juneteenth.
Exactly. That's what everybody keeps saying.
But it is also.
But that's what people keep saying, right? Everybody is focused on Juneteenth.
But it just
can I get my day to shine? Can I get my day to shine?
It ain't our
can
fault
I get
that your
my
shit
day to
falls
shine?
on Juneteenth, sir.
I mean, it is Father's Day. Can I get my day to shine? You know what I mean? Like,
why can't you just celebrate
I'm just saying.
both?
I can celebrate both, but it ain't been nothing about Father's Day. Ain't nobody said. You know what I'm doing on Father's Day?
Celebrating Juneteenth.
Celebrating
Juneteenth.
Being a fucking father.
Wait, you know what? You were something.
I am being a father, though. I'm being a father. I'm being a father. I have to take my daughter to a place that she needs to be from 9 to 3.
As you should.
And then.
But she loved doing that.
And then after that, I got
exactly. He act like he be complaining.
I'm not doing nothing. I wanna. You know, it's so funny because I would like to be. It's ironic that I want to take a break from being a father on Father's Day.
No, we don't get that luxury, brother.
You know, mothers say that too all the time.
They do say that all the time, man. I just feel like, you know, since I have to work. Say, like Friday, I have to take her somewhere. Saturday, I have to take her somewhere. And Sunday, I have to take her somewhere. I feel like if my sons were, 3 different places. I feel like if my sons were not old enough, I would have to take them somewhere too.
Yeah, you probably would.
I probably would.
So what's the problem? You should be used to it by now.
I am used to it, but I don't want to be used to it. I just want to be like, you know what I'm saying? I just kind of want to just be like chilling. I want for my kids to shower me with love and gifts.
They will, but
won't.
But in the meantime, you have to take them where they're going to go. How are they going to get to where they're going to buy your gifts at if you don't take them? Exactly. I have a good point.
That's what public transportation is for. I'm sorry. I grew up on public transportation.
Sir, I have to point out the fact that every station from Cheverly to Stadium Armory is closed until September.
What does that have to do with Father's
Day? But they are most certainly running shuttle bus services.
Sir,
I'm just saying.
Have you ever tried to, take those shuttle buses?
Yes, I have. You caught in traffic, but there is a way for you to get to where you are.
Isn't the metro like running on a 15-minute?
It's still.
It's a delay and a goddamn shuttle bus. Like he acting like you could just hop on that bitch and hop off. Like
wake up early, prepare yourself. That is a part of growing up and becoming an adult.
Sir, no.
See, that's what's wrong with these kids nowadays. They spoiled as hell.
Especially not
They parents take them very damn well, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn. Your kids you have to learn and have to prepare your kids to be independent.
Listen, my father told me.
That's fine. You can be independent and drive yourself.
My father told me you get there.
But everybody doesn't have that luxury of their parents having a car or them having a car. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what public transportation is for.
But he doesn't have that issue.
I grew up. What do you mean he doesn't have that issue?
He doesn't have that issue.
Who?
He has a car.
Well, hey, the way gas prices is, you might want to take public transportation.
No. It takes too long.
Listen. The way gas is,
You
I'm
have
about
to
to
pay-
start
it may be. You do have to pay for convenience, but at what point does that convenience become
a burden?
Or overwhelming?
It doesn't. You just can't go everywhere your friends want you to go.
Which is also another part of learning how to become an adult.
Right.
Because you have to prioritize shit, and then you have to sacrifice as well.
Yeah,
So everything goes hand in hand, you know.
I'm with that. They gotta learn how to do
They gotta learn though.
They gotta do that.
Like
They gotta learn how to
remember
do that.
back in the day. Remember back in the day, you used to have to call a cab. Like these kids have Uber now. You never see like.
Don't worry about it. She don't.
She nigga rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up cabs.
She bougetto.
The P12.
First of all, you mind your
Bougie ghetto.
You know what I'm saying? She bougetto.
Yeah, she bougetto.
Tell you something.
I mean,
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what we.
Selvin, what's going on,
So do you
Selvin?
put them in a position to be independent?
Yes, I do.
You have to.
My kids. Okay, so like I said, my boys drive. They drive. They get where they need to get to. They do everything they need to do. It's just right now, my daughter. Well, see, the thing is, my daughter's doing so much, and she's being she got a job and stuff. One of the places I got to take her is a job, and so she's making money. She's doing this thing. She's going to college classes. She's only junior. She's taking college classes. By the time she finishes, she'll be almost finished her first year of college. By the time she graduates high school, she's in National Honor Society. She just finished 5th in the world in cheerleading competition. She does a lot of stuff.
Sounds like you don't need to be complaining.
I'm not complaining. It's just that one weekend she's doing a volunteer thing on Sunday. She has her hours. She's just doing it because it looks good on the college resume. But
What's the volunteer thing?
she's volunteer at her gym that she used to cheer at. She's done it. She's volunteering at a stunt camp, and she does this every Sunday from 9 to 3. She has her hours. All I'm saying is that this one Sunday she could skip it for Father's Day because she has all her hours and volunteer hours. She has all her hours. So all I'm saying is, I'll take you next Sunday, but let's just hold off on this Sunday.
Suggest that to her?
Look at this dude. Now I haven't said it to him.
Look who it is.
What the fuck?
Oh shit, he done fell over.
Oh, y'all
Big-
got pizza? What's up?
Big Zelly in the
nigga,
building.
You
Yes,
crazy?
sir.
There we go. Mask up.
Yes,
So
sir. Be Zelly in the
Y'all know what
building. I don't know what that's about, but I didn't know we was. Yeah, we cool with that.
Oh, I'm not bad. Y'all on?
Yeah, we good. Yeah, we on.
Man, you got to stop the show when the CEO come in, man.
I know,
We
right?
gotta
You
stop.
ain't
We gotta show
So I have a question.
homage to the to the man who helped us do this. You know what I mean? What's up? What's the question?
Did you tell her that? Did you?
Nah, that's my daughter, man. I ain't taking whichever she wants to.
So you don't?
I'm just complaining. I'm just complaining about her
So
back.
you are.
I'm just complaining behind her back.
He
So
just-
you saw everything she said.
I'm doing. I love my daughter. I'm gonna do it for my daughter. Yes, I'm gonna do it for my daughter. I'm a great father. I'm gonna do it for my daughter.
You know what it is? Because when she gets that scholarship to college and it's worth $300,000, you're not gonna mind having to take her on Father's Day to
But
whatever she wanted to go to.
You goddamn right, because that's why she been doing this competition cheer for 10 years so we can get that scholarship.
Exactly. So be
You know
quiet.
what I mean? That's why she in the National Honor Society. That's why she taking classes already, so she can be done early.
I don't see the issue.
Me either.
It's Father's Day. That's the issue.
Yeah.
But you just
No,
made
it's
it
not.
up.
It's
I
not
don't care,
Father's
though.
Day.
I don't care.
It's
It's
not
Juneteenth.
Father's Day. It's
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
It's both.
It's Juneteenth.
I don't know. B. Zelly
Because if it weren't for
said the same
Juneteenth,
thing.
there would
What?
be no Father's Day.
Said it's Father's Day. Fuck the Juneteenth shit. Say nah.
We all don't share the same views.
Yeah.
So if you catch one of us on the street, just know that's the one you need to catch.
I know, right? The views of him don't reflect the views of the show, and we have our own independent views.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't
it
try to
it just
argue
happens
with
to.
us on social-
I just
argue
wanted to
with
bring that up because
Yeah, I'm not about to argue.
I just
because
think people
I'm
are
just-
missing
I'm just
that. They
about to
got so
curse
many
you out,
events
block
for
you, that's
Juneteenth
fine.
on Day, but they ain't got no Father's Day events. That's just all I'm saying.
They have a lot of Father's Day.
Nigga, go to brunch. You be alright.
And somebody take me to brunch. I got it. I can't. I'm in the gym for that.
Well, first of all,
Well, you can make it to the day
brunch is
party though.
Brunch is not open anywhere.
What day party?
Yeah.
Brunch is not open anywhere. I was trying to make a reservation to take my dad to brunch, and brunch was like no.
Was brunch like no, or is everybody booked?
Everybody's booked, and therefore.
So
brunch
when
is
did
like
you?
no.
When,
Oh, that's
when
what's
did?
up.
When
Is
did
it
you?
booked for Juneteenth or they for
3 weeks ago? It's been booked.
for Father's Day or Juneteenth?
Yeah.
Father's Day.
Oh, okay, I just wanted to make sure we
You know what?
I mean, it's,
So some people are treating their fathers nice. That's real good. That's real good.
I know full well.
That's cool, though, but-
Everybody celebrating Juneteenth. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
how about? I'm gonna tell you the. I'm gonna tell you the embarrassing part about it.
And I'm off tomorrow.
A lot of people didn't know that
Shout-
Juneteenth
shout-
was a federal holiday.
Right, exactly.
Well, they didn't know it was a
They
holiday
didn't
until it
know it was-
became
yeah,
a federal holiday.
exactly.
Rather, put it that way.
Right. Okay. So what are you off Monday?
Yes, I'm definitely off Monday. And
You
I,
off Wednesday?
Oh, I'm off tomorrow, and I took off Monday, so I'm gonna be off Monday too.
I'm not. I'm off when
that's the-
work when I know to work.
that's why.
I'm here too. Are you off? Are you off? No.
Hey, Miss
But
Jennifer.
But you're a federal employee, right? Or we not?
Yeah.
But they just said fuck Juneteenth.
No, we're off on Monday.
I know.
She know. she not off. She a different type of.
Oh, I mean, I'm a different type of federal employee too, but
I
we
know.
all.
I know.
But we all.
I know. So
Okay, so what grinds your gears?
So that was my first one right there. That was my first one.
The Father's Day thing?
Yeah.
I got stuff that grinds. Okay, all right. Everybody can go before me. I'm gonna go last.
Nah, this is a long show, so go on. I mean, not a long show, but we got time. Go on, cause I'm gonna come back with something soon, probably.
So, what grinds my gears is respectability politics. I hate that shit, especially because it generally only applies to one side. Like, so this whole like Lori Harvey and the beard fishing motherfucker, Michael B.
fishing?
Jordan.
Oh.
He be beard fishing because if he cuts off that beard, child, he is funny looking as shit. But
Oh wow. Okay.
so that whole
Beard
thing with
fishing.
beard fishing, y'all be beard fishing and hat fishing, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm gladly bald. Been bald since I was 24 years old.
Yeah, you can see I am not with hair. So. I'm cool.
But anyway, so
That's why I grew the beard.
I just don't like.
So you have something to look at, right?
You know what I'm saying?
I don't, cause I don't trust niggas without a stash.
I don't know stash. If you African American
got a
male and
stash.
you don't have no
We
stash,
got a problem.
Oh, Lord have
yeah, stay fuck from around me.
Stash this niggas. That's
But I
Don't
just
trust
don't
you.
like the fact that like people are
So-
like going on her.
so you have a problem with them really pouring on her and not saying nothing about him and how he used to dog out women?
Well, no, I don't have any like I don't know that he's like
That's what they said. That's what I heard.
nobody knows either
really?
one of them except for like 3 people in the world. So, but my issue is that when it comes to her, they're like, oh, well, she was dating like 6 dudes in like 4 years, so she's like this whore and da da da. And I'm just like, well, you know,
I'm
she's
kind of
like she's 20 something years old. Like if she don't want to get married, she don't have to right now. Like what is wrong with y'all?
So here's my so I don't know their relationship at all. Like I have no idea, nothing. I just heard they were together, right? But
I didn't expect them to say that.
I didn't either. Really,
Neither.
I kind of didn't either because because of her history of not wanting to be in a relationship.
Well,
Really,
for me, it
Really?
wasn't. For me,
Because-
it was. For
'cause
me,
my thing is-
but
hold
for
on.
me, it wasn't the history. It was the age gap. He's a whole decade older than her. So generally, if you're a whole decade older than someone, unless we're talking about like 40s and 50s or something like that, y'all are in 2 different stages in your life.
I understand
Like,
that, but my thing that's not. But see, the thing is, because it can still work if you have the mentality in your history. That's why I say her history, because her history was she was jumping. She was jumping. She dated a father and a son. Like she wasn't
Yeah.
serious about much or anything. So he jumped in that situation.
Did she?
He jumped in that
was she with
situation
Diddy and
knowing-
Diddy's son?
Yeah, Diddy and his son. But she jumped in that situation. I'm sorry. My thing is, I don't care what he gets or whatever, because he jumped into that situation knowing that this girl didn't have a relationship for more than a year or whatever. She dated a father and a son. She did this, she did that. I'm not calling her hoe. She just living her life. She having fun. That's great. Whatever. But he jumped into that knowing what he wanted wasn't that what she wanted. But he tried to
Force it upon her.
I don't know if he said force it, but he tried to change her mind
How
by
you know
doing
he tried to change her mind?
because he was doing all this stuff. He
But
was
maybe
doing
that's
shit.
just something natural for him to do.
It could be, but he had the mentality to be there for the long term.
Yeah,
I know that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so I think, so in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, the things he was doing, it was trying to get get her in the mindset that we gonna do this long term instead of just kind of just sitting back and letting it play where it's gonna play, right?
I've
Because I
always
think
been
that's what
on
she
the
was.
mindset that if you don't want to be in a relationship, articulate that from the beginning and let that be that.
That
And
is
then
very true.
You know, you pretty much set with the, how you guys are going to move. If you already know it's not going to be serious, then you just move that way. You just know not to get too emotionally involved.
Okay, I mean that's cool. I just don't agree with them calling her a whore or whatever just because she didn't want to be or ragging on her just because she didn't want to be in the long term with Michael B. Jordan. Like,
I don't agree
it
with
is
them
whatever.
bragging on her.
It's whatever.
Period, because
But-
you do what you want to do with your own life. Like
that's
I
true
don't,
too.
I don't feel like the same shit that they be like defending Nick Cannon for when he's made like 77 broken homes. They're like, oh, she slept with 6 niggas and she has no kids, but we're gonna shit on her and we're gonna be like, oh yes, because Nick Cannon has enough money. This motherfucker has like 99 kids by 101 different women. Like,
He definitely do. I mean,
He definitely sold his royal
He's
oats.
definitely putting kids in the world. He's
he's
definitely
trying to
doing that.
repopulate the
So,
entire earth.
That's cool.
Knowing her history, is her history similar to her mother's?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Because I've heard like people talk about her previous relationship before
Steve.
So I'm just wondering if it's.
That's a good question,
I don't know.
especially for the fact that this young lady now carries that man's last name, because that's not his daughter, like
No, that's not
biological
his daughter.
daughter.
Right.
correct?
It's not.
So how long has him and Marjorie? And that
Marjorie.
Marjorie.
Probably.
How long
It's
have
been a
they?
few years. It's been. I think it's double digits now, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't think.
'Cause
I think it's just touching like 10 or 11.
Because
years
then at the same time, you got to look at Steve's
They
situation
are
too.
older, too.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, he'd have been divorced like 99 times.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
so
I mean-
like the example isn't really as
It's
as-
steady as
yeah, you know what I'm saying? As we want to make it
as
seem,
strong
you know
as
what I'm
she
saying?
is. It ain't like
And then this
it's not like she
dude
came
wrote
from
a book
Yeah.
about the. Never mind.
Nope, that's not what we're gonna get into
Yeah,
today.
I'm sorry, but
We're not gonna do that. But you're right. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
that's
like,
a whole nother.
that's
cup
a
of
whole
tea.
that's crazy.
That's a whole nother. cup of
But
tea.
All I'm
the,
saying
the
is,
whole
let's-
thing is,
I think that's a
if you
man's
out
talk.
here, you living your life, that's cool, fine and dandy. But like Seven said, you know, if a relationship isn't what you want, that should be established from the very get go. And also, as you stated, Jo, you know, look, you're not changing my mind about this subject,
Right. So you
know.
can't.
So it's kind of like either we going casually date or don't make it seem as if like we're an item.
or going towards a position of marriage or whatever. Like they was talking about his age and stuff like that. Like, mind you, he's not old. I mean, he's 35 or 34 or whatever.
he's
So
not
he could
old.
still be. He could still be, and he could be. I don't. He probably not. But he could be still in a stage where he wants to have fun or whatever. But
Let me tell you.
It just-
Nah,
happens.
not
Let me tell
at this point. He's
y'all.
trying to settle down.
No.
well, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying.
No, not at 35,
You
No,
don't-
not according to my DMs. These people aren't settling down at all. They're still finding words.
Yeah, we've had a couple.
That's just the people in your DMs.
That's the people in everybody's DMs. That's the people in life.
But no, but they said, but the thing is, it's been known that it was known that he wanted to take it further. He wanted to be.
Yeah,
he wanted to be. It's known.
Okay,
so,
but that's fine.
So,
But then you also
I
have to
messed
respect
up.
when somebody else is not there with you.
I agree.
I feel like the problem is that guys think that because like women will be like, oh, guys don't ever want to get married, blah blah blah. As soon as a motherfucker proposes marriage, you just automatically like have to accept. Like, no, if that's not what you're ready for, then you shouldn't accept it. And I think she did the right thing. Like, if you want to marry me and I'm not ready for marriage, I'm gonna say no.
So
and the chips just gonna have to fall where they
He ain't
may.
never gonna ask nobody ever again.
so what happens when he
Yeah.
then walks out with your best friend?
I'm sorry, what? My best friend would never.
I'm just saying, like I've seen
And I mean
plenty of
literally
instances on social media where guy proposes to girl rejects, and
He ended up with her
boy
sister.
goes with
His sister.
a close friend or a family member, and
It's happening.
then it's like then now dad has to sacrifice Father's Day for Juneteenth for real.
Well, my dad doesn't have to worry about that, but no, I just feel like
I proposed that I already wanted the boy. Wow.
I agree.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, see, it's wild, but
That is so
you know
wild.
that is.
But no, I just need for men to hold themselves to the same standard that they hold women to. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it may never happen, but that's what I need.
Conversation I want to get into right now.
Black men don't cheat.
Do what? Okay,
so-
never mind.
Not according to my DMs.
Child, not according to my DMs, not according to my emails, not according to my nothing.
Nah. I want y'all to go
Am I
live
black?
your life with your wife.
Red.
Anybody? Okay. We're gonna stop talking about Michael B. Jordan because I get into a whole array of.
All right, what
things.
grind you get? What's
I'm cool. I already had
He
mine.
hit
Oh, okay,
it.
Wayne, what
Yeah.
grind you
I'm
get?
going-
No,
Come back.
we're gonna go all the way around the
Come back.
board. We're gonna go
Come
around
back.
the board. You ready, Seven, or you want me to go?
Oh, I got a lot going on.
Oh yeah, go ahead, do your thing.
That will grind my gears.
Just give me one. Just give us one. Because we're going to come back around. It's going to come back around.
Like the filthy houses I've been in.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
They grind my gears too, girl. They grind my gears.
Well, how about we not talk about that? How about we talk about them DMs, though? Let's talk about that. Cause
That really seems like it is
that's grinding your gears
gears.
right now. Because that DM looking real fancy right now. Let's just say, well, okay, so me and Seven have had some conversations over the last couple of days about her DMs. I'm not going to get into her DMs,
I don't want to get
Specifically,
too detailed because in case
but
somebody see them.
all I know is lately
I tell y'all what, stay out my friend's DMs.
she's
Stay
been
out of them.
lately she's been
It's not
giving.
even cold outside. Y'all supposed to be roaming free.
Exactly. This is supposed
listen.
to be the free period,
Like
right?
we're not even
Ain't no
under
such thing as a
shutdown
free
mandate
period.
anymore.
Listen,
Y'all stay out her
lately her
DMs.
DMs been giving, hey big head. And I'm like, really?
Damn, like that, so?
Yes, sir. Listen, all I know is
Damn.
me and 7K, so we don't have to talk all day. But one part of that day, she goes, "Here go another one."
Oh, somebody said your volume is low.
That was earlier.
Oh.
Yeah.
36. Oh, I gotta go that way. Okay, that's
Yes. Yeah. So I just want y'all people to stay out of her DMs if you already got somebody.
Come
If
correct.
You have a whole
What?
entire
Family, not just wife, not just
legally
girlfriend, a whole family.
documented situation along with title and deed. Like, leave me out of that. I don't want no parts of that mess because nowadays the wife can sue.
I think
The wife can sue the side joint?
Yep.
I heard that it's happening in North Carolina.
Yeah, like
Oh,
I
where the
heard
hell I
about it
been?
like
What,
way
what you
back
call it?
when. I heard about it way back when,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I heard
It's
about it
something
again recently. Yeah.
There's something in there.
I'm sitting there with y'all.
You hear me?
I had to get the fuck out of that house, man.
It's
Sir,
called
sir,
erosion.
sir,
Yeah.
Like the
You
girl.
know what's grinding?
What's the-
CEO.
What's the girl name?
Oh, is that,
Mimi.
is
She,
that
what is the girl?
Tamara?
What is her name?
You want
I
some?
know. It's
She
called
Yeah, you want some?
she
I do.
social media jump.
But I need another cup though.
Renner?
Look at you.
No, Nene Leaks. Is it Nene? Is that her name?
I don't know.
Where are you trying to go? I'm trying.
She's being sued by
Oh,
Joe.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
some.
Oh,
She
yeah,
took
yeah,
my
yeah.
husband from me. Oh, my boyfriend or whatever.
Which
That's what I was
is
saying. You can be sued for
interesting
that.
to me because
In North Carolina, apparently they look hard at that shit. Like they really be
They frown
on
upon
it.
that.
They
she
fr-
about to
it's
lose
frowned upon in this here establishment.
It's like it's North Carolina.
Lord, today.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not surprised though. It's probably like that in Georgia, in Florida.
It's definitely like that in
I'm
North Carolina.
glad it's not
Anywhere
like that in
where,
Atlanta, 'cause I didn't try, but you know,
Women have to fight
We don't
for.
want to talk about that.
people.
For
I
the
don't
right
even
to
know
their
about
body.
what that is, but whatever. That's something I ain't know.
No, because I sent you screenshots, so I know you know.
No.
Somebody in your
Oh,
Oh, somebody.
Long time ago.
It wasn't a hey big head. It was I'm gonna come to you as a woman, and I was just like, who? What?
girl, I hate that too. I had
I'm
to
good.
tell somebody, listen, I had that conversation with him because he told me a different story. No, that gives me a headache.
Okay.
I'm gonna come to you as a woman. I'm gonna fuck you up as a
He told
woman.
me-
Woman to
I
woman.
told her, listen, I told his mom, so listen, he told me that you was just a situation, sweetheart.
Wow.
Well, damn. You get the Gucci man. Well, damn.
The thing was, I was at my cousin's wedding when I got that message. And then I was looking, I was like, see, this is why I don't check my other messages. This is exactly why I never check them. Because ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, I mean,
It's interesting. I ain't never been came to as a man, so I don't fucking know that situation.
yeah.
I mean, I just don't know. See, I just don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know the DM part, but
Yeah.
you know,
I don't,
maybe they don't know.
Just don't.
I don't know, but I've never had a man say, "I'm coming to you as a man." I've never had that.
Just don't check
They just probably don't know.
don't check the messages in your other
They probably
folder.
just
You'll
don't
never
know.
have to worry about it.
That means I got them right. Listen,
I'm the
no,
best kept secret.
No, yeah,
Lord
got the
have
rest. Maybe I got the right one, baby. Okay. We gonna move on.
But no.
Oh, no. We
no.
got one.
I want to point this out too.
Okay, go ahead.
And then to like poorly try to attempt to cover your tracks. Like I can't do what I do to show that you've been here. Or you've been in my
So what you saying?
in my inbox.
Let it roll. This really grinds my gears.
I forgot we had that. That's why I did this. I forgot we had that. So what do you mean? But I mean, what do you?
So this particular person decided to spell his name incorrectly. So in
Oh
the
yeah.
event-
Oh.
yeah. So then in the event, like,
Shut the fuck. That's damn near genius.
Almost.
That's damn near genius.
Like I told Joey, listen. When I first started dealing with him, he was lying about things that he didn't have any need to lie about. And so me, it's like I'm gonna just get annoyed. I don't care if we together or not. I'm just gonna get annoyed. I don't want to have anything to do with you. So I left him where I found him. And so ever since then, he had been talking to my inbox. So if I ever go, and it's been like going on 5 or 7 years. Hey Keisha, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I go to my blocked folder, I can see how many times he's messaged me. And that's the same thing with somebody else. Just like this afternoon. I'm like, dog, at some point, if I am not responding to you,
Like, do you not get tired of talking to yourself in my inbox?
Brothers,
I don't
Please
understand.
stop
PSA.
talking to yourselves in our inbox.
PSA.
We don't want
If
y'all.
she ain't responding, guess what's gonna happen?
Just let it go.
She ain't gonna respond.
Let
So
it go,
just
bro. Let it go.
she ain't gonna respond. If she
I'm
ain't
like, if
responding,
I'm done with you, and
She not gonna
especially
respond.
if we ended on not so great terms, or if I'm just annoyed with you, don't want to be bothered with you, I'm gonna act like I don't know you. I am a true Virgo through and through. Period.
September Virgo though, right?
Exactly.
I'm not a Virgo, but
She got a problem with August Virgos. We can talk about that later.
That's
I'm
She
not
told me
a Virgo.
that.
I'm
She told me
not
that's a whole
about
different
all
breed.
these Virgos. They just different.
She
They
told me
just-
there's a whole different breed.
They just move different.
So
She
yeah,
just talking
yeah,
about
them motherfuckers is
them August Virgos kind of off the chain. But anyway, I know a few of them.
Shout
But
out to
anyway,
Libras in the building.
we're not gonna do that.
Me.
So we're not gonna do that. That is way too far. But
What do you mean it's way too far?
Libra's like, ain't that like next year or something? Listen.
How dare
That
you?
joke like
You know
that
what?
joke like
I'm not-
ain't that joke like
I'm
2
not even-
years?
I'm not even gonna do
They
this
just-
right now, but just know.
Libras come every 2 years.
That's exactly why.
That's okay.
Libras every 2 years. Are you?
She could really come back at you about the Father's Day situation.
She could. I'm not. We ain't gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Cause I heard I'm gonna cry in the car. So just leave me alone. I'm gonna cry in the car. I don't care. Juneteenth. The fucking Juneteenth.
Juneteenth, bro.
I done raised 3 kids and I gotta worry about fucking Juneteenth.
I raised 1 kid, and he's like 5 kids, and I still gotta worry about Juneteenth. And he didn't give me nothing for Mother's Day.
Well, we ain't gonna,
Well, I don't get anything.
I got you some for Mother's Day. You
How about
welcome. Dang.
I said
Yo,
he didn't give
Kids
me
don't do shit. Kids ain't shit.
Kids-
You got
kids
kids.
ain't-
Kids ain't shit. Sorry.
Kids ain't like that. Like
Maybe your kids are. I don't know, but mine ain't shit.
No.
kids ain't built. They ain't like us, man.
But shout out to my kid. You alright with me sometimes. Get on my nerves.
She lied, dog. Yeah. The way she talk about you to me. Listen.
I talk about him to his face.
With
all day.
Wizzle Dizzles. Wayne.
Hey, please. All right.
Look, shout out to Auntie Seven.
No,
Yeah, shout out Uncle Wink. You know what I'm saying?
Uncle Wink and Auntie Seven.
We've been an uncle cousin for a long time.
Long ass time, long time. You
Uncle
know,
cousin
and I
for-
take care of them too. You know, like they mine. You know.
Uncle cousin for a long
Matter of
time.
fact, I just sent my godson 2 pairs of shoes out
See?
Virginia. Man.
See?
Well, said one my godson down
She's like,
down in Chesapeake sent him 3 pairs of shoes.
That's cool.
Sent my youngest godson 2 pairs of shoes. Hey, look,
Your
man,
cousin
it's-
needs some shit for her to see your pictures and shit.
Hey, I already told I told her that's I call her my oldest goddaughter. I told her whatever she needed me, man. I thought I got her. I'm the godfather. man.
I am too, though.
Oh, but
Okay,
grind,
okay.
now
Let it roll. This really grinds my gears.
I'm gonna piggyback off of Seven's grind gears. So like I understand and I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been in a situation. You know what I'm saying? Like where I've talked to a young lady and I assumed that our relationship was a little bit better than I guess what it really was.
Okay.
So, you know, message here, there, you know, happy birthday, you know what I'm saying, happy Mother's Day, whatever the case may be. But then,
Want some pineapple juice?
after everything goes and fades away, you know what I'm saying, I'm chilling in the cut like peroxide, and then all of a sudden, I get a message back.
Whoa. First of all, we can't just run past that.
Oh, what?
Bars.
Oh, chilling in the cut like peroxide? Shut up, Bryce, man. I stole that from my brother, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like that's what grinds my gears. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so-
like you when you get those, when you send those messages, or just like happy mother, like I said, happy Mother's Day, happy birthday, whatever the case may be. But then like months later on down the line, you get one of them, oh hey, you crossed my mind, I was just thinking about you, I don't know why.
Because
You know what I'm saying? Like, all right,
her
cool.
vagina itch. That's why.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Nothing.
All right, cool.
No.
So I know how to respond to that now.
I would like to,
I appreciate
no,
that.
No, I didn't hear it. I would like to be. I would like the voice to be repeated,
Yeah.
please.
I said because her vagina itch.
Yeah, like she wanna fuck. Like we
Ooh,
sometimes we
chi
just
wally
wanna
wally,
fuck
chi
too.
bang bang, ooh.
Say less. I know how to. Now I know how to respond.
That Watusi burning. Well, it ain't burning, but you know.
No, I hope it ain't burning.
I
Yeah.
hope it ain't burning.
This is why you can't trust him to translate shit.
Yeah. No, that's why I depend on you two women's.
That Watusi on fire.
Well, but we're going to the Freaknik then. All right, but yeah,
They still
like,
doing
but
that?
that was what
They still doing
with the
the
freak Nick. Nah,
They doing
I'm
that?
about to bring this shit back, man.
Lord have mercy.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we talk about the freak next. We gonna have to get
Yeah,
Bizel a mic.
Look, we gonna take it to the Skyline Hotel like the old days.
First of all, don't be trying to bring him into this. He's already over there.
Shit, he told me about it. I'm just saying. Listen,
But that's
Interstate backed up. Imagine 295 backed up and people just standing out there in their cars.
that's it.
Girls twerking in hotel rooms and you looking up and all you see is just
Yep.
beautiful.
See,
the beautifulness
see.
in the essence of a
Girl,
woman.
hey, oh, yes, it
Smell
did.
like-
Lord
Hey.
have mercy.
Hey,
Hey, it smell like
Yeah.
dust.
It was down south.
Hey, but
It
dust.
smelled like weed.
I'm okay.
It was down south. It was just beautiful.
That funky one to say.
Oh my god.
So,
That shit.
is it my turn?
Yeah, man, we back.
Let it roll. This really grinds my gears.
So, how about we talk about these mass murders, right? But I don't want to talk about the mass murders. I want to talk about the fact that our government does not want to disarm or make it harder to get these things, the guns that are killing kids and killing people, unarmed people. But they want to arm teachers. What is that?
Okay.
Like, so you telling me, hold on. So you telling me that in Virginia, the governor can come down and say, we don't want to, we gonna outlaw critical race theory. We gonna outlaw you trying to teach our kids about the real history of America. We can outlaw that, but we can't outlaw an AR-15 being bought by an 18-year-old to shoot up kids.
And that is why you guys need to vote during your local.
Yeah, do your local stuff because
Thank you.
it's so-
Seven.
it's
Thank
so-
you. I be trying to tell
State
people they don't
issue
listen.
and
not a
federal
issue, right? And that's the thing. Like, and then now they're talking about, well, we gonna arm teachers. Fuck you, mean? Just
First
just
of all,
arm the people.
y'all want to pay teachers $27,000 a year, so they don't get paid enough to be armed. Like I don't understand what the problem is.
They don't get paid enough to do that to even teach.
I was
What
gonna say,
the hell I'm saying?
They don't get paid enough to run
So
off
now they
copies
got it.
of paper.
So now they got overcrowded classrooms where they got to teach all these badass kids, and then you got to arm them too. So they got to worry about somebody else.
Okay, so here's one of my main problems with that is that we already know that as far as like discipline goes, black kids are punished more harshly than their counterparts. It's no secret. They get suspended and expelled for shit that, you know, their white counterparts might get a slap on the hand or detention for. So what do you expect to happen when you arm teachers and give them carte blanche to do what they want to
So
do with their
what,
guns?
what about the teachers that don't get along? How about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously,
It's-
all this stuff, everything, all this stuff comes into thought process because it's like everybody wants to do stuff before they think about it, right? So let's just say, because I promise you, in schools there are teachers that don't like teachers. There's always cliques. There's cliques everywhere.
Everywhere.
So if you arming teachers now, not to say it's going, but it could get out of hand at some point. Like,
Well, I don't think it'll turn into the Wild Wild West, but I think it'll turn into it. I think it'll turn into just another situation where minorities are in more danger than white people, like it always does. Like because
I'm okay with that.
What
I'm
do you
okay with believing that.
because I mean we already know that people view minority kids as being older than what they are before they're actually that old. So what happens when you think a black kid is flexing on you? Then what, you're gonna shoot his ass? Like what is gonna happen? Like I think people don't.
Well, this kid is already a threat.
Well, the people that are making laws don't give a fuck. That's the problem. That the people that are making laws, they don't care because it's not gonna affect them or their kids because they don't look like us.
And they don't go to where we go.
Can I chime in? I'm a guest on. I'm following me up.
Yes, sir.
Diesel the Truth on Instagram.
Come on, Bezel.
Okay, well, the way I see it, how many teachers are in the school? Probably about 20.
25, 30.
So that means you have 25, 30 extra weapons in the school. Also, you have to train people. I was in the military, so you have to train people to use weapons, first of all. Second of all, they need to be mentally able to use it as well. Like I said, teachers have issues just like
Everybody.
And if they get mad, they might pop off. You see these police popping.
That's what I'm saying, man.
So the thing is, now you're gonna find out. You're gonna get more stories of teachers popping kids. And you got police popping kids. Now you have teachers popping kids. Then on top of that, it leads to an issue with 25 to 30 more weapons in a school. I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, we did break in our teachers' shit at times, and we got our teachers' shit at times, especially the teachers we didn't like. So
sure.
you can get these guns, and then you're gonna have
kids learn.
yeah. But I'm just saying. So you don't want to put that. You don't want to put extra 30 weapons.
You don't
in
want
school,
to.
No
You
matter.
don't.
What.
Definitely
You don't.
don't.
That if that's the case, you would have an armory in the school. You know what I mean?
It's just a
For
bad
sure.
idea. Like,
Yeah, it's not good.
I
Now,
don't necessarily think it's a bad idea though.
okay, good.
I'll say I don't think it's truly a bad idea. If you look at that situation that happened down in Texas, right? You look at that situation. You had armed police officers running into the school to get their kids out.
Well, see,
Not to stop an active shooter.
well, they had pistols. He had an AR, and so therefore, what I'm
But
saying.
all right, I understand what you're saying though, right?
Mhm.
But as a federal or state trained officer of the law, you should have more training
Yeah, definitely.
No.
than
I'm not making excuses for him.
Well, the problem is you have to have more training to do hair than you have to have.
I want
In
I
most
want him to finish his
places,
thought. I want you to finish what you going. What were you going to say?
Go ahead.
he should have more training than that kid, right? With him having more training than that kid, you are trained as an officer. They put you through training. It's just like almost like the military. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Not
go
as
through.
long, but yeah,
It's not as long, but
No.
Go ahead.
you
Go ahead.
do have certain scenarios when you're in the academy and protocols and different trainings that you go to where you are supposed to learn how to identify and either de-escalate or eliminate
So real
an
quick,
active shooter.
Gotcha. So real quick, I'm gonna just debunk all that real quick. Give me a second. But what was it, last year or the year before, when the white lady shot that dude that was in the passenger seat over a partner? The partner was handling in the street. She was on the job for how long? 20 some years before,
Yeah,
and
the
then
cop, yeah.
and she.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, she was trained like that, and in a fight or flight moment, she panicked and she shot dude that was being controlled and being, you know what I'm saying? So, yes, they're trained, but like
It's a mental thing.
It's a mental-
it's a whole, but like it's a whole
But you
abstract
can't
thing.
you can't expect teachers to do what law enforcement officers are trained to do.
Yeah.
You can't expect that. That's not what they signed
They
up for.
can't do that.
Yeah.
They
don't even
they're
have
not
the-
going to.
All right, hold on.
Go ahead.
You guys are sadly mistaken in your assumptions
Okay.
to think law enforcement is adequately trained.
Oh no! I'm not saying that, but that's why I said that.
There are
About the-
so many holes and so many differences in local law enforcement training. Right?
I agree.
This is expectation that their SWAT team is operating at the same level as, say, like New York or Los Angeles in these
Smaller towns.
smaller towns.
No.
And that is definitely not the case. So when they started reporting on what happened in Texas, I mean, yeah, I was concerned about the kids, but at the same time, in my mind, because I'm used to it, I'm trying to figure out, okay, so where was the failure in the training? You know, where was the lack of knowledge? And you see that in how, in your day to day, and how local law enforcement approach people in general. I've had to reach out to SOs plenty of times about PG officers just to let them know, hey, your person is doing this, that, and the fifth. You need to take them through training again. There's so many holes,
Agreed.
and it's at the expense of everybody's life pretty much.
It is.
Um, but at the same time, when I think about, let's say we go into like a coup situation. In that situation, we are usually prepared for something like if there's a national attack, we have to get geared up and ready to move and what have you, right? Automatically, well, not automatically, but what we're told to do is you have to get your stuff together and just move. You know, call your family and see if they're okay. But
You gotta worry about self first.
exactly, right? Because you got not so. It's the operation that you got to worry about.
Oh yeah,
right.
So when it's introduced, when it was introduced to me, of course I'm like, nah. I'm gonna make sure at the very least, mom, dad, grandparents, cousins, uncles, they have an exit. You know, and that's what happened in this Texas situation. That's where everything fell apart because people aren't looking. It's that fight or flight. People aren't looking to their operation or what they're taught to do operationally.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to revert to
Self-preservation.
self-preservation.
And that's why I was like when people were like, oh, well, there were officers there and da da da. I was just like, well, you have to think like even if there is an officer there, that's why I don't believe in that whole good guy with a gun mentality because no good guy with a gun is expecting somebody to just walk up to them and start busting off. It doesn't matter what you're trained for. Like if somebody's just walking up, especially like somebody who's like 15, 16, 17 years old.
I'm even more on my P's and Q's.
You're not. No. You're not.
You tripping?
You're not expecting somebody to just walk up to you and
That's
start
'cause
trying
black.
to kill you.
We live a different way though.
That you don't know. Like the average person is not sitting up there like, oh, this strange person is walking up to me. Let me see what he's up to. Like, is he gonna shoot me? Like, no, nobody's
everyday
thinking
person is not even paying attention to. You see
It-
everybody doing this all day long, all day, all
Yeah, and
day,
they phone.
all day
That is,
long.
I
All
agree
day.
with that. And
Yeah.
maybe
But see,
I'm just different
but here's
because
the thing.
I'm always I suffer from severe anxiety, and not to use that as a crutch or anything, but I'm always aware of my surroundings.
But is that a
Like,
crutch though? Is that a crutch or is that heightening your sense of
That's
where
PTSD.
you are?
That's what that is.
Superpower in this
That's
situation.
PTSD.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
But-
and by far, and I might be one of the well, me and CEO here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably would say that we're probably two of the most two-way people in this room right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the way I honestly feel as if a license to carry permit is hard. Everybody thinks that it's easy to get. It's actually it's harder to get.
It's not that hard.
Here,
Here it is.
In Maryland, it is.
Maryland, it is.
In Maryland,
It's
It's-
a lot easier in Texas.
Yeah,
than
it is.
other
I have a
states.
top secret clearance, and it was hard for me to get.
I mean,
It's harder in Maryland than it is
It's
in
a lot
other
easier
states.
than
Maryland is a
Texas 'cause
fucked
I'm
up
so
state.
why-
I'm gonna tell y'all.
But I have three
There-
why it
guns,
may
so
be
you
harder for
can't
y'all.
tell
And
me
y'all already know why it may be harder for y'all. Because I
Right.
know, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yes.
It was
Yeah.
hard for
But
me.
that's also what I was gonna say about the heightened sense of awareness too, because like people, if you, to be honest, to be completely honest, reality says that you, me, Mizel, or whatever, like from younger or from being in the environment that we've been in and grew up in and survived in, you have a heightened sense of awareness because of where you come from a lot of times. You know, if you grew up nice and chilling and whatever else, like some of these other people that we don't want to mention, sometimes they don't see that because they don't think that it could happen to them, or they're not aware of it happening to them. But growing up where we grow up, or being in different situations, it could be PTSD, whatever. But being in different situations, you like I remember as a youngin, I was small, right? So I always had people testing my gangster, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And even when I proved myself with older kids and in sports and playing football and stuff like that. There was still another person that's trying to test me and see if I can fight, or test me and see if I can really do this, or whatever. So I'm always being tested. So at some point, even going to college, we got into a skirmish. As an adult, I got into a skirmish because people are testing me all the time. A skirmish, I say that, but people are always testing me. So even when I got into this skirmish, I'm gonna be honest with you. Even when I got into this adult skirmish, and I hate it because I was a fucking adult, and I hated being in this job because I felt like I shouldn't even been in this job because I'm a fucking adult. But anyway, before it happened, I had this. I sat there and I assessed the situation as to what was going on. And yes, I put myself in the middle of it, but I put myself in the middle of it because I knew just from what was said, the people walking, the way they walked, how they came approach the situation before they said a word, I knew it was gonna be a problem. I knew it was gonna be a problem. So instead of sitting there where I was and having a conversation with the people that I was having a conversation with, I had to go and find out what was going on just to make sure my mans and them was okay. And it just so happens that the people started popping off, and we had to handle the situation to where it escalated to. But if I hadn't been aware or situationally aware or heightened because of situations in my past, I might have been still down there like the other people were, chilling where they was. I might have been still down there, and my mans and them might have got. But I was just making sure they wasn't. That's all I'm saying. So in certain situations, as a black man in this country, sometimes I am aware of what's about to happen. Like sometimes I'll be like, you know what, it's time to go. And when it's time to go, guess what?
It's time to go.
It's time to fucking go.
Are y'all saying that the police weren't aware?
I'm not saying the police
No,
wasn't aware.
I think the police were aware.
Well, nobody's aware.
But
I don't think.
I think to some extent, especially depending on what department you're in, like what type of stuff you see on a day-to-day basis, nobody is ready for that. Like you can't train to, like you can say whatever you want to say, but nobody is trained for somebody to just walk up.
But
But you have to be.
But I think
You have to be.
You have to be
If you
prepared.
stay
That's
ready,
your job.
listen. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
But okay, so
you
get
can,
this.
you can stay ready
So real
all
quick.
you want to, but
Wait a minute.
if you're working in a place for 10 years and
But that's
none
what
of
I'm
that
saying.
happens,
But this is what I'm
and
gonna say.
then all of a sudden one day somebody walks up and wants to bust you in your kneecap.
But here's the thing. Here's the
You're
thing.
not
So
gonna be
wait a minute,
prepared.
real quick. Just like Seven said though, like there's some situations or there's some places where they're not as prepared for that because they're not trained for it.
Staying locals don't got no.
They're not trained, and that's bad because it
And
should
they
be training
basically
across the
running
board
around with
the
tasers.
same way, but they're just not trained for that.
Listen, you know, we grew up in Fort Washington. I
Right.
came from D.C. Grew
Yeah.
up in Fort Washington.
Yeah.
When I went to the country, the bubblefuck country, that's how I learned how to pop off and shoot guns and do all that
Exactly,
crazy shit.
right.
You feel what I'm saying?
But that's why I said
Shout
situations.
out to Boyd's, Maryland.
But what I am saying is, okay, so I don't know who been shot at before. I've been shot at by in the street, but I've been shot at with machine guns. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I was prepared, supposed to be prepared, trained in everything. They told us, look, y'all going into war as Mexico. We have gang situations. Here I am fresh out of AIT. I'm thinking, what the fuck? I done signed up for this shit. We go in there, and you hear ting, 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 ting. And I'm thinking, what the fuck is that? And them bullets hit the top of the Hummer. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers are shooting for real.
Yeah.
For real,
These
for real.
motherfuckers, and they ain't going pink.
Yeah.
You know, let me tell you something. And we ready. But at the end of the day, you never know what you're gonna do until you in that situation.
Right.
Because the first thing I was like, nigga, we need to get the fuck up out of
Yeah,
here.
we got
You
to
know what I
go.
mean?
Okay.
I got
We
guns
got
to
to
shoot
go.
back. But then it kicks in. You know what I mean? But everybody is different.
Mm-hmm.
So what I am trying to say is, no matter how much a person think they are ready, you never know. No matter how much you think
That's
you
true.
are trained,
That's true.
but you have
That
to
is
give you
true.
have to give evaluations,
That is
proper
true.
evaluations.
Yeah, that is
You have
true.
to put people in situations. You have to train yearly for this.
Yeah.
Now, I suggest that my suggestion for these schools is to put maybe 2 or 3 people in these schools. I don't know what it would cost in a budget. 2 or 3 trained people.
Train people.
They can help coach and do other things as
can,
well.
But give them enough free time where they can
exactly. I don't want to put a lot of cops in schools because we already got black people dying in the streets. Lord knows we don't need our kids getting killed either. I'm sorry, that's where we at. You feel me?
Yeah.
But we do need to get trained people. They got to be aware. They got to be able to shoot if they need to. But they got to be kind of like counselors as well.
And handle a situation.
Exactly. They got
to handle a situation.
You know what I mean?
Training
if it's escalating, you know what I mean? And I don't know. The ball was dropped so many places in that situation. It was so many places from the, you know, and I instinctively went back to Lean on Me when he locked the doors in the schools and you couldn't get in. But it's disheartening because you know what I mean. We these kids are getting killed, little kids. And where I'm from, even in the streets, when in the streets, it's like old people and kids are off limits. And the last 2, for instances, the old people and the kids was getting hit. Mm-hmm. You feel me? And no matter what we go through in our society, we ain't going around popping kids. Right. You know what I mean? We could say we was in a broken home, all this, and shit happens, but we ain't going off mass shooting motherfuckers. You feel what I'm saying? And the problem is that these people are letting
mass shooting.
Yeah,
we can't afford to mass shoot.
But here's the thing. I think, and I'm about guns. I'll be honest with you. I have 20 of them. But here go the thing.
I have 3.
I have 20. But here's the thing. I think that it's not the point of people accessing them, but the ones that are able to buy them. You should not have 18-year-olds able to buy automatic or semi-automatic weapons like that. That can machine guns, military-style weapons.
Can he drink?
You 21, right? 21 years old. You have to be able to be 21 to get a pistol. 21. Right? You have to, Maryland, yep. In Maryland, it's crazy. I ain't never seen no shit like it. In Georgia, you go to the pawn shop. You 21 years old. You don't have no background. You walk in and out.
From Georgia, I'm like, Maryland ain't hard.
Yeah, listen. In Georgia, got some of the toughest gun laws. In Georgia, you can walk. Yeah, it is. Maryland has the toughest gun laws. In Georgia, you can walk in a pawn shop. I want that one. In 10 minutes, you'll be out of the store if you don't have a record. It could be a pawn shop. Really? It could be Yeah. I've bought so many in the pawn shops. Desert Eagle, my first Desert Eagle. You can walk in. You come to Maryland. If you wasn't in the military, you have to be you have to take a class. You have to get all those background.
I guns before that, but
yeah. You have to take the class. You have to go through a lot of background check, all that stuff. You got to wait. Then you got to. And Georgia's not like that. In and out.
But you know what? DC apparently is more cumbersome. I was just talking.
DC and Virginia.
I was just talking to somebody about that the other day, and they were like, "Maryland is easy." I'm like.
No.
Because that's the only thing I've been used to because I haven't bought a gun in so long.
I hang with these boys. They moved to Virginia because they don't like the Maryland gun laws. You know. But the thing is, what I was getting at is, you could be 18 and you could go to the store and get any kind of machine gun you want.
Any type of semi-automatic rifle.
Anything. Weapons to kill. That's what's killing these motherfuckers.
Yeah, for sure.
You see what I'm saying? That's what's taking them. Yeah. But you have to be 21 in order to get a pistol. Now, if you go up into school with a pistol, you know what I mean? Like, what you gonna take out? 10, maybe.
And see, that's what people don't understand because if you have to if you have to let the trigger go and then shoot and then shoot and then shoot, people don't realize that it might not take 10 minutes. But it takes a lot longer than if you run up in that motherfucker
with a 30-round clip. With a 30-round clip. I have a shotgun with a 30-round clip. You feel what I'm saying? With a 30-round clip, you going up in there with a 30-round clip. And these police like, shit, Mayberry motherfuckers, they
15, 18.
They looking at you like, you should, they go ping, ping, and you go brrrr. It's like,
exactly,
what do?
That's the problem.
It's hard to go against that. It's hard. And being honest, as police, and I heard this, your first instinct, it's not first instinct, but your job is to protect. And they said, no, we got to get home safe. No, your job is to get everyone else home safe.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? But instinct pop in.
I was about to say, but then you're actually a person. Like,
yeah, so they like, you know.
You want to make sure you get home.
But I mean, just think about the little girl that covered herself in blood. Like she was little. She's a little girl.
Fight or
that did
flight,
that.
and she did that.
She
did that. That's crazy.
They should have if they was on some shit like her. You know,
That shit broke my heart, to be honest. Like, I was like, oh my God. And I don't even get emotional about nothing, but I was just like, really? Like, why should she have to do that?
yeah.
Like, never mind.
I applauded that girl. Like I thought that was like in that kind of moment, in that moment, for that
Have
little
that
girl
thought,
to do
like-
that, to have that thought and to do that thing, to do that, to save herself. Like I thought that was the most amazing thing I had seen in a long
She's
time.
a hero.
Like, that is
So
crazy.
I want to say this because I've heard about these issues. I don't got no kids myself, but I've heard about these issues that parents have when it comes to the school and the Board of Education in their various districts or counties or states or what have you. Going back to this story with this guy who shot up the school in Texas, apparently, and I'm not using this as an excuse, this young man was supposedly harassed and bullied, right? So, a lot of these schools nowadays, there's a problem with counseling and assisting kids who are just like emotionally immature or don't know how to. Well, kids period are just emotionally immature. Don't how to know how to navigate conflict well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead, my thing is, instead of making this huge push towards arming teachers and whomever else who the custodian in the school, why aren't we addressing these mental health issues? Because we see them as adults in the people that we go to work with. Like I went to work one day, one Friday, someone was cool. Over the weekend, I hear he done blown his brains out. You know. So if mental health is an issue for adults, I'm trying to figure out why don't we think it's an issue for kids, especially when at that age, they just don't know how to emotionally and mentally handle conflict well.
I honestly think that the problem is that it's the difficult thing is not what's done. So everybody tries to take, well, the government or whoever, the powers that be, always try to take the road less traveled or the road that need to just get it over quickly. They're trying to solve a problem with band-aids instead of actually solving the problem, right? So instead of going into it and trying to spend money to figure out what's wrong with kids or try to stop this whole thing, they're saying, well, let's just arm teachers. But in the root of it, like you said, is these kids that's having these issues in school that most likely come back because they had these issues in school because they had been bullied or whatever, or because nobody got to talk to them or got into the root of the problem. Then they come back and they shoot up kids. Now all of a sudden, it's not.
But they kill themselves.
But it's not the. They don't want to. They don't want to.
And/or
They don't want to divulge or get into that because it's too hard. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's just too hard for them to try to figure out ways. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like just like I said, like it's too hard to try to figure out how to really solve this problem. So the first thing they can think of is, hey, let's just arm teachers. Okay, let's do that. And then instead of thinking about the consequences of that, they just thinking, let's just arm teachers and see how that works. It's like they just testing theories and shit instead of getting down to the real root of the problem,
So
where you have to get to these kids or try to get to these kids or whoever before they do the things that they do, or try to get to these adults that try to do the things that they do because of some fucked up life or some fucked up learning or whatever the case may be. You know, I think some of these racist killers that come in, they'll go in churches, the black churches, and kill people. These motherfuckers. I think honestly, if you had taught them about what actually happened in the world, you know what I'm saying? And
So
No.
the problem is
No.
that
nigga.
speaking
No.
from a psychological standpoint,
they can take 2 classes of psychology.
don't make me let
Give birth? What are you
Get in
talking
her
about?
bag. Let her get in her bag, man.
She just told me
But-
no. That
no.
nigga told me damn.
No, because what I'm saying is I think that people in general have the tendency to think that people by default are good.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is fine until you corrupt somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely not the case. Some people are just not good people, and it has nothing to
Yes.
do with mental illness. It has nothing to do with anything fucked up happening in their
I
lives.
get that. I understand
It's
that.
just that they're bad fucking people.
That's true.
When this guy claims that somebody was teasing him in high school,
You shot
and
little
he went
kids.
to a elementary school
Bam,
and
that's
shot
what I'm at.
everybody, it has
That's what
no-
the guy. That was the situation in Texas.
Yeah.
yeah, it has nothing
So
to
he
do.
wasn't a student there at the school.
No,
No,
it,
that's
when
it,
they shot
it,
little-
it has nothing to do with him being teased at that school because nobody in that school went to school with him that could have teased him.
These little kids.
I agree with that, but I agree with
Because
that.
if you're a
I agree
senior
with
in
that.
high school and elementary school, kids have something about you. You kick them in the shin, like don't nobody give
Okay,
a fuck
so
about
what
that.
if
Step on their big toe, like nigga, I'm gonna take your
Push them
bike.
down.
I'm gonna take your bike, you little motherfucker.
But
Like what
there,
are you
there,
doing?
there are people. I think the
No, I agree that.
I think the problem is that people think that when you get pushed out, everybody is inherently good, and nobody can possibly be evil when they get pushed out. But that's not the case. People are just bad people sometimes. Like it has nothing to do with mental illness at all.
No, I agree
They're
with
just
that.
fucked up people.
I agree with that.
Period.
Yeah,
But
like
but
that
I-
dude that drove 4 hours to shoot up a grocery store.
Oh, you talking
He was
about
just
what is
bad.
that, Boston
He
or
was
whatever? it was?
fucked up.
Yeah,
He plotted that shit out. He put
Yeah.
the shit on the gun and whatever. And
that's
a lot of
why
people, and I think a lot of people is copping shit to mental illness too as well now.
Well, I don't think.
I think some people are just fucked
But
up.
I'm with you. I don't think mental illness don't make you evil.
No, it doesn't.
Mental
definitely
illness
just makes you
it's
mentally
kind of
ill.
just it kind of messes with your head. But like mental illness is something different from what you know. What I'm saying like, I think when people are racially motivated when they do things, I think that's taught. I do believe that's taught because people don't come out.
No, but it
I
doesn't,
bet- I
even,
bet-
it doesn't even have to be taught though. That's the problem.
I
Like,
think it is though.
it's
I think
not.
I don't think people come out the womb and see this dude
People
and
don't
hate
come out
that
the
dude.
people.
That's what I'm
People
saying.
don't come out the womb. People may not come out the womb like that, but that doesn't mean that that's what your parents teach you. It's plenty of people that come out fucked up, and their parents are perfectly fine. Like they're lawyers, they're doctors.
But
or
that don't
whatever,
mean they're racially
and then
motivated.
they end
though.
up with a life sentence because they did some dumb shit.
But that don't mean it's racially motivated. What I'm saying is, if it's racially motivated, I believe
It has
it's
nothing
taught.
to do with being racially motivated. I'm just saying people can be fucked up.
Yeah, because
I get that.
I
That's
agree.
not what I'm talking
I
about.
agree.
How they're
One of the guys
But that's not what I'm talking about.
before we moved over to the other side, to close to Buckingham, we was in
Lord,
child
have
fund.
mercy. This
And
nigga.
let me explain something. All our neighbors, besides me and Sean Gray, was mostly white, right? Little Jewish boy, but up the street was a little white boy. Andy Lunn. Nigga won't even friend me till this day. But I want to talk to him about some shit. I really want to get in his ear. This little kid was close to being my best friend. His mom loved us. He had older brothers. But he still had that thing about him. As he got older, it wasn't taught from his mother. It wasn't
But you
taught from
thought
his
it was.
brother.
So you think it was because you was black?
Man, we was like best
Maybe it's
friends.
just something he didn't like you.
No,
Like,
dog, we
you
were
know.
best friends. Do you understand? We all played together, all the
I
whites
understand
and
that.
blacks.
So-
As he got older, once he became an adult, I don't know what happened, but he on some Aryan Nation type shit,
But-
like some
but
crazy shit.
I understand it, but you don't think
His,
it was, I didn't say
one of
that.
his closest friends was Jewish. You
But
can't.
what I'm saying is, I'm
So
not.
why aren't y'all? So granted, and I hear this all the time. Yeah, your parents can do but so much, and your parents are doing X, Y, and Z to make sure you're on the straight and narrow. But y'all do understand that these people walk in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
they
that's
can-
what I'm
and
saying.
they
Not
can
your
be a-
parents, though. You can't.
I
blame
didn't say.
the
I didn't say it was your parents. I just said it's taught.
Mm.
I didn't say it's taught by your parents.
Yeah.
It can be taught by another
can
little
be
white boy that you
influenced.
saw in school.
Yeah, it can be influenced.
That's what I'm
in
saying.
Many different ways.
I think when it's racially motivated, it's taught by somebody. I ain't saying by your parents, because Because if you come out the womb and you playing with this, you see it every day. White kids and black kids playing together all the time. Like I grew up in a neighborhood where
Our neighbors was white.
my well before that, Riverside was mostly white. It was us and a few black kids. And perfect example. One of my best friends was this dude named Lester, and he was white. And his mom cooked for me and did all this stuff. And Lester was cool. But then there was this dude named Joe who used to hang out with us. And Joe would take every chance to call me a nigga. Why? Because his grandfather was a racist motherfucker. That's what this was known. You understand what I'm saying? But Joe took every chance he could get to call me a nigga until
He called you a
that
nigga one
nigga.
day.
He called me a nigga one day, and he caught the bad end of this nigga. You understand what I'm saying? So he never did that again. But he didn't know. He knew what his grandfather said, right? He didn't actually know that it was a hurtful thing until he said it hurtfully when I fucked him up. But Lester,
I feel like he knew.
he probably could, but it was taught. But what I'm saying, it was
It's
taught
a
from
taught
his grandfather.
behavior though.
Right. So Lester and them, his mother, from what I know, let me just say that they didn't treat me any different than another kid. You know what I'm saying? They let me into their house. We played endless video games, ate food. We did. He had two other brothers, older brothers, took me in. They did everything. They didn't like I was their family. Matter of fact, when my mom let me go across because I was young, across the street or whatever, across the highway or whatever, it had to be with them or somebody older because I was young and she wasn't gonna trust it with nobody else. But what I'm saying is, I just think that kind of behavior is taught somewhere down the line. It's taught. Like the kid you talking about, B, it might not have been taught by his parents, but somebody got in his ear about it.
It could be. It could be.
He could have seen
It
on
could be.
TV.
It could be.
But
Like I
all
said,
TV.
it could be. TV is all around.
It could,
Us, you know what I
that's
mean?
what I'm saying. But evilness, just pure evil about going to go shoot up kids. That's evil. That's not. That's just evil. That's not taught. Nobody teaches that. Nobody say go shoot up kids because you frustrated because this nigga didn't pick on you.
I think we
That's
just use
evil.
mental illness
That's
right now,
evil.
especially at this time. Everybody is on this mental illness kick, which it's in my family
and
heavy,
that's what-
and everybody using that for a cop out.
Shout out to my mentor. Yes. No.
Because your mental illness is
No, because
okay.
you know what? We got a lot to talk about after we get off here. But
Blame it on mental illness.
no, it's not.
That's what I'm
Like,
blaming it on for me.
Well, some
No,
people
but
are
you know what?
inherently
Like,
evil, and
people-
we got
Inherently
those
evil.
narcissists
People are just
and
like, yeah.
psychopaths.
Oh shit.
Mhm.
That's
that's
some
what-
people
yeah.
are just when we say that some people are just who they are, some people are just evil. For me, in my experience in dealing with certain cases, typically these people are diagnosed as narcissists and psychopaths. We even have narcissists who are in
Here we
the
go.
office.
Yes, sir. Yes.
But
yes,
but-
sir. We in the
But then
office
at the
with
same time, you do have, these people who are influenced by whatever the politics may be, whatever their parents may teach them,
it.
whatever's on. Like, to be honest with you, I don't give a lot of people too much credit in regards to mental maturity because I see how immature and how quickly people are influenced just on social media. Like, people are so quick to jump on something, and they come to find out 2 months later, whatever they jumped on as truth is not actually true. So I don't give people that much credit. But what I do believe, when you're saying someone is just inherently evil, yeah,
Yeah.
those people, in my experience, are typically psychopaths and narcissists.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And that is a mental chemical imbalance.
I agree that there are some, like you said, when they come out, they just,
But
no
see,
matter what you do, that this motherfucker
Yeah, the
just
kid
want to
gonna
do
grow
bad.
up.
But
The
see,
kid gonna grow up
Yeah.
cutting up birds.
Yeah.
I think
That's
the
just-
problem is people think that just
We
because
gonna
you're
reenact
born
this
a
with Toy Story and
person,
shit.
that you're born good. Like that.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I don't think that's. But I don't think that's true either. I don't think that's true.
Because if you look, a lot of people, like, if you look at like serial killers and stuff like that, a lot of people have done shit leading up to them killing people. Like they've killed animals. They've like
And some of these
mutilated
serial killers are the
shit.
nicest
Like
people.
they've been drawing weird ass drawings. Like there's
They are,
literally
though.
They
there's
will bring you like baskets of flowers, some candy. They the like that's
Like today, them pictures. They know I'm playing.
there's literally no
In
case
the
that I've
office
read
today.
about that there wasn't anything leading up to anything.
It looked a little evil.
Like there's always something.
there's always something. People just don't pay attention.
Yeah.
There's always
That's the
something.
thing that people don't see the signs. They don't pay attention to the signs.
But
They
a lot of
work
people
the
don't know
signs.
what the signs are.
That is also true.
Like a lot of parents just think their kids are hanging. I'm like, you have to be involved in your kids' life.
But that's also, but
You
that,
need to know what they're looking at on
social
the
media
internet
and everything.
and
Like
stuff
I
that.
like I think I remember when my oldest son got a phone, his first phone, and he said to me, "Hey Dad, can you show me how to put music on here?" And I was like, "Okay, what are you listening to?" And he was like, Chief Keef. I wanted to download the album Chief Keef on Chief Keef. And I was like, all right, what's the album? What's the name of it? And he was like, why? I was like, because I'm gonna listen to it before I put this shit on your phone. And he was like, and then your kids, well, but they kids, oh come on man, blah blah blah. Everybody listen to it. I don't give a fuck about everybody else. I really don't. I really don't give a fuck about anybody else. You my kid. I need to figure out what you listening to, what's in your mind, right? So I listened to Chief Keef. I just figured he was just dumb. So, that's just my opinion. He just yeah. So I just say, all right, go ahead. If that's what you want to listen to, fine. But I had to, I sat him down and I explained to him like, this is just music. Like, first of all, whatever you think about these dudes, don't think it. You know what I'm saying? Just listen to the music and just listen to the music. If the beat is nice, whatever, but don't take too much ownership or too much whatever into these words. I did it myself. Like when I grew up, I listen to crazy music sometimes because I just like beats, or I just like the sound of the voice to the beat or whatever. But I didn't take to account the words or the gangster shit that they were saying, because to be honest with you, I wasn't, when I was a kid, I wasn't the one to believe all that shit in the first place, right? So it might have been true. I don't care, but that's not my issue. That's not how I'm growing up. That's not how my life is. I just like to listen to it because it sounds nice on the beat. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay-Z, Cough Up a Lung, where I'm from, Marcy said that's one of my favorite jumps. But if you listen to the jump, it's about where he grew up and shit like that. How times was hard, but I didn't give a fuck about that.
Music influence.
Because I was in Fort Washington.
One of the greatest influences in
I was in Fort Washington playing basketball with these niggas. So you know what I'm saying? Like that's what my life was. If he grew up hard in Marcy, I apologize for that. But I'm in Fort Washington playing basketball till nighttime. You know what I'm saying? Safe and sound. Going on my friend's house at 11 o'clock at night. Coming back home midnight, and I'm okay because it's my neighborhood and I feel safe in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't grow up that way. I'm sorry, I didn't grow up that way, but I like the music. You know what I'm saying? So when he first did that, I just told him about that stuff. Like it's just music. It's just music. So don't be, you are influenced by sometimes whatever, but
The music.
it just depends on how influenced you are. You know what I'm saying? So
No, because see here, let me say something. This is some funny shit, and I'm gonna make it short because it's y'all show. I'm not doing it. And once upon a time, I lived in Atlanta, and my cousins them got robbed. They got jacked. Like really, they was in a truck, and these girls baited them out, and there was 6 of them in the car. No, 5. And dudes drew down on them. Took the truck, took everything in it. Okay, so they called me. I'm in the bed. I just had Isaiah.
This is what he about to say.
And I'm laying in the bed. So they called me, and she was like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "They just got goddamn hit." So she was like, "Well, I was different back in the day. I was a little different. I'm older now." So I got in the car.
I'm not different.
And I rode up.
Me either.
So I rode up there. Now we on the
Just know.
we on the
That's
west side.
not
Now and this is a true story. We on the west side of Atlanta. West side.
Different either.
I done pulled up on West Side. Now, mind you, I already feel a certain way because I just got robbed in West Side a while back. So I'm like, anything you get it, like on different shit. So I went up there and I got them. So now we riding all the way back, and I got to take somebody all the way to Macon. So I'm really hot from Atlanta to Macon. It's an hour and 30 minutes. and it's 2:30 in the morning. I done got off work. They off the club. So they telling me the story, and it's like boys in the hood, you know, when they riding quiet in the car. And I want to hear this story. So they told me what happened. So now I'm upset. So my cousin Robert Harvey, he was different then too. He said, "Man, fuck that. These niggas robbed us. We got to go back up there." So me and my boy Derek and him went back up to the club. We rolled up to that club. Now all of us got guns in this motherfucker. Like, and Harvey's like, man, he found out where they be, this, that, and other. So we up there ride. We on Tupac. Get in the car. Tupac playing. We ready. Let's get these motherfuckers. Like, I don't even know what the motherfuckers look like. So up there, we riding around the parking lot. We riding around the bounce around, and honestly, like on some real shit, niggas they could die, like on some real shit, like you rob these niggas. So we riding around. Dear Mama came on the radio. Tupac. I was like, man, I got it in my thoughts. I ain't gonna lie, I got it in my thoughts. I was like, man, do you know how these niggas look? Nah, I don't know how they look. Derek went with him. You know, he married with kids now. You don't know how they look because you weren't in the car. Rob was like, I can't remember them, but I just... So we ride around looking to shoot somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning in Atlanta.
And don't know
in the South, in the country. I said, man, we need to go home, man. These niggas could live, man. Y'all were just slipping. But Tupac Dear Mama came on the radio, and it changed my whole spirit.
Yep.
Let me just
that definitely
music
happened.
will do that because when I
Music
got in the
put you in
car,
the mood,
he
change
bumping,
the mood.
outlaws, rider. We
It
fuck
definitely,
these
it
niggas. We
definitely.
gonna slide on somebody.
Listen.
Like somebody about to feel it, like on
Listen,
some real
music,
shit.
Music can definitely put you in a whole nother mood, dog. Like,
Man,
it really
and
can.
it's a true
It really
story. You can ask about it. I said, man, these niggas can live, man. We can go home.
These
Worry
niggas
about it.
can live today.
Man,
They can live today.
We need to go home. The
Today,
music, that was just some
I
side shit.
think today they can live. I
Yeah,
think today, dear mama, yeah, we
Dear
can
Mama
live
came,
today.
man, like just some real shit. It just changed my whole spirit. But getting on some
I
real
need
shit,
that- I
music,
need that
music can affect you. What these kids listening to in music,
Yeah, it can.
and you
can.
can be the best parent in the world out here. But these kids gonna do what the fuck they want to do.
Yeah.
Let me explain something. They gonna do what the fuck they want to do. I thought my kids were saints. I got a motherfucker dope boy and a motherfucker a crusher.
2 boys.
Yeah,
2
that's-
boys.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to my kid. Hey boy.
You might think they one way, but I promise
on the
you,
hook, too.
kids be
Yeah,
like, yeah,
telling you.
they different. They out here, they different,
That nigga
and they a lot
off the
faster
chain.
because social media made the
We
world
gotta
a lot
talk to 'em. He
smaller,
off the chain.
and it gave them a lot more knowledge. We're in an age of knowledge, and they got a lot more knowledge and a lot more. They witness a lot more shit.
I actually, you know what? It's so funny because
Shout out to my kid.
I think I was lucky enough for the beginning part of my boy's life that they weren't social media kids, and I checked their phone, I did everything, like they didn't even have the apps.
Damn, I drunk all that liquor.
Now they do have it now, but they adults now, and I can only guide them around life now. I can tell them certain things, but they adults. They make their own money, they drive their own car, they do whatever they kind of want to do. So I just kind of here and there. I do have a daughter who I do still check on because she's my daughter. She's a minor. I don't know everything she's doing, but for the most part, my job is to try to keep her busy enough to stay out the street. And I think from her mindset and what she's doing, it's enough for her to stay out the street. You understand what I'm saying? Like, she goes to work, she goes to school, she goes to school. And I mean that, like, she goes to high school during the day, she takes classes at the college at night, she goes to practice.
Keep her busy.
She goes to practice, and then she's volunteering at a stunt camp that she don't have to volunteer at, and she also is working. So it's like, as far as I know, you don't have enough time to do some crazy shit in the street, some fuck shit in the street. And as long as I can encourage that and keep her doing that, I'ma do it.
Yeah,
And she's a dude. She listens to dude music. She listens to gangster shit.
Be around her
All
all
the
the
time.
time.
She listens
And
to
apparently
gangster
she's
shit.
mean. But even
And
though she's nice to me, but she's mean.
Let me tell you, my daughter was
inherently mean.
straight A student. She couldn't even go to her own school. She went to another school. Straight A student, like on some real shit. College calling her, plenty colleges, everything. She would cheerlead. She played baseball. She did it all. Kalea. The motherfucker got pregnant. 17 years old.
this is where.
And I'm gonna tell you what it is, and we was always on her with her, and sometimes I ain't let her go with the boys. You know what I mean? And her mother. But the thing is, they gonna do what they want to do.
They gonna do what they want.
But also, the main people in their lives, gotta listen to them, be more of an ear than an enforcer.
See now, I am a
I agree.
But
I am
very aware of that.
Too, so.
I'm very aware.
You're a great dad. I will say that.
And the reason I'm very aware of that because we always set this rule with the kids that at 16 you can't date till you're 16, right? So, and that was across the board. You know what I mean? So I didn't do it just for the girl. I did it for the boys too. And she saw that. She saw it was rules. So I also think that because she there's examples set above her or whatever that she sees this every day and stuff like that. And also, to be honest with you, she flat out said it. I don't even like people. She doesn't like people. She doesn't like people. She's not a people.
Khaled don't like people. Didn't like people.
But it is this boy. You understand?
You gotta watch that shit though.
There is this boy.
All it takes is a few seconds.
There is this boy.
I used to be that nigga.
Yeah, like,
There is this boy.
Even my son, he be like, she is mean.
There is this boy. There is this boy now. I'm gonna have to dinner thieves 50 Cent this nigga in a minute. I'm gonna have to put him in the weight room with all of my big friends and say, listen, all my life I've been responsible for her safety, and now I gotta make sure I gotta give up that responsibility for one night to you, and make sure that she okay with you.
Have me in the room.
I just want you to understand what's going on right here. Oh, everybody's gonna be in the room. Understand what's going on here. Now, at that point, you can decide what you want to do.
Okay.
That's cool.
You said what
As
happened?
long as that's all he's doing with that thing.
Till he get alone.
Yeah, that's what he gonna do until you get alone. Like, go on, baby.
That's what he gonna think like that at first.
Yeah,
But then when they get along, he be like, man,
Yeah,
Will
right,
say
right.
he's not about to be a part of this foolishness.
Will gonna be a part of the foolishness.
No, he's not.
He's the tallest person I got.
Yo, so funny.
Not the tallest
No,
person
but
you got.
seriously, I'm gonna have a conversation with
Like
you, boy.
that happened
And
to me.
but see, here's the thing.
My dad done scared people away.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. Here's the
Don't even get me
thing.
started on my dad.
You know what she told her mom? She told her mom. She said, so this is the plan, right? This is the absolute. Because I told her, I don't care what happens. This nigga does not come around. He doesn't take you on a date. He doesn't do anything until he meet me first. You understand that? She agreed to that. I said, okay.
Don't be mean.
So I said to her, so we talked to her mom today. I said, well, when is this nigga gonna come around? When is he gonna? She's like, well, your daughter says she don't have time for him right now, so she's gonna have a cookout for her birthday, and apparently he's gonna come to the birthday and he's gonna meet everybody. So she was like, okay, but I don't know about that, and I was like, well, you gotta be in the fire if you're gonna last around here, right? She was like, because she's worried that he's gonna be too much for him. I was like, I'm sorry. If it's too much for him, then he's not right for you.
Hold on, who's
So-
too much for who? What?
For him, she thinks
The
Gianni
situation is going to be too much for him.
thinks the situation is gonna be too much for him because he's gonna have to meet everybody at this cookout. And if you think,
And everybody in my family ain't right.
and if you think I'm bad,
At one time,
if you think I'm bad,
no.
first of all, she said she's not worried about me or Jay. She's not really worried about me or Jay. That's the husband. She's worried about Ahmad.
Well,
And I can't tell. I promise you, I cannot do anything with Ahmad. And he's her godfather, and he's crazy. He's certifiable. Also, he has to go over her mother, who is not right in the head, and Ronald doesn't say much, which is her grandfather or papa. But you better know.
That's the one you worry about
You
that
better
don't say
know
nothing.
that he's the one that might do some shit that you'll never know about, and the boy might. Everybody coming to the shindig. The boy gotta understand.
Could be in the shindig
The
too?
boy gotta understand that
So
it's a whole.
Look,
it's a family
so
affair.
him and Jawan, Jabari can.
They're not gonna do nothing. Jabari's still shocked. He's still shocked. But anyway, the point is that
Then you ain't even said. And then he got to get through me.
well, that's
I'm
not
just
even.
gonna be trying to talk sense into
That's
people.
not
I
even-
don't.
That's not even to be. You know,
I'm like the person that talks sense into people. Or
He
at
still
I
gotta
just
get
feel
through-
like-
it don't matter. He still got to get through me.
I just feel like if
First of all,
I just
y'all
think
don't be
I'm
doing
doing what
that
I
to
need to
Leave
do with her.
alone.
So hopefully,
She did it to her. She did it.
like you said,
God did it to her.
once you let him go,
God put her on earth. He did it.
once you let him go, you don't know know what's gonna
Y'all
happen.
are weird.
And I just
Leave
think
Nobody
her-
weird. That's
leave
that's
her
that's,
alone.
that's
you
not
just
a
said your
girl.
father scared all people. Get it
I
out.
said my father. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
My father.
Yes.
My father scared of, and I said he was, and I throw it in his face every time.
That's
and
fine.
He feels some
And
type
guess
of
what?
way about it every
Oh,
time.
he do? I don't care. I'm gonna tell you, I don't care.
You will care.
I won't.
In the future, yes, you
I will never care.
I tell my father all the
Never.
time, I'm your problem now. You're gonna have to deal with it.
Well, see that, and that's fine because that's what your father probably wanted. Because I'm gonna tell you what.
No, that's not what he wants.
Oh, I do.
Because
I do.
he has to, since I'm his problem, he has to do.
Oh yeah, you're right. You do a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah, you do a lot. You're right. You're right. Yeah, I don't want that kind of.
Leave Niani alone.
I want to do kind of. Now, if she 30, I ain't gonna be them kind of problem for her. She can do whatever she
Until
wants.
until
once
she's
she gets
21.
30.
Until she's 21.
28.
I give her 21. I respect her at 21.
28.
Cause she got a good head on her shoulders, but I give her till she's 21.
But the point I'm trying to make is you can do everything like
That's
you
my
said.
baby.
B, you
I
can
said
do
that.
everything that you can. You can do everything that you positively can for you for
That's
your
my baby
kids.
right there.
But once you let them go, you just
got
gotta let them go. You
Yes.
understand? And that's all. I'm just trying to give her a good structure.
She's fine.
So when she goes, she just goes. And I.
Don't be walking up on
I
nobody.
got to her
She's
mama
fine.
when we was 20 something. You know what I'm saying? I got to her mama. But we had a kid. But her mama did graduate first. So she had that.
I was
she had that
little,
goal.
right?
You
I
know what I'm
couldn't do
saying?
nothing.
What I'm saying is, I'm hoping that
Like
I'm just hoping that
9 years old.
before she gets into any of that kind of business with kids or whatever, that she has established something for herself. You know what I'm saying? Like her mother, before we got pregnant with Jawan, she had a degree. We had jobs. We had an establishment before we got there, and that's just all I hope. And if she have a kid young enough, wherever, I just hope she's established. That's where all. That's where I'm at because I can't control these kids.
What about your kneecap?
These kids crazy.
So do y'all like sit down with the parents and learn, like meet the parents?
So
I do.
she's done it, but what
Look, not by my son's
my
preference,
question
but I did
my
it
question
anyway.
to you a couple of weeks ago when we talked about this whole situation in the beginning is true. I do want to know these things about whatever is going on. We talked about, but yes, I plan on sitting down. We play. Oh, I can't know who this kid is until I know where he came from. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
I
because
think
even
that's,
still,
like, more important than like trying to scare this.
I'm gonna still get the pants off of him.
I
But
think
I definitely want to know
in
his
the
parents.
fabric.
But I think that
Like,
I
if
think
you
what I'm
think about it in your dating life, really.
I think what I am gonna do is if that's the case, like, won't they come by when he comes? Just I know he probably drives. I don't know what he does, but maybe they should come by for a little bit so we can have a conversation and see who this person is. And maybe not even yet. I don't know, but when do you do that? Do you sit down with the parents first off, or do you wait until he
I
gets
do.
try to get serious? Like, I don't know.
You just
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
I know what you do.
I think that's like
I know what you do.
seriously, if you think about your own dating life, well, I know I did, and I look at these behaviors, I'm just like, it gotta stem back to your mommy and daddy issues. Or
So do you
whatever.
meet the kid first and then, like, that's what I'm
I
asking
don't
you.
have no kids.
No. I'm just saying. Would you meet the kid first and then say, hey, let's meet the parents, or that's
You
what?
gonna meet the kid and
Like,
the parents together.
Well, what I did was, much to my child's chagrin, I was like, because, of course he's a guy, and then his date is a girl, so I was just like, you know what?
No,
Anyways,
Can I have one of these? Is these okay?
yeah,
yeah, she just
help
bought them.
yourself. But my thing was, if I was trying to look at it as if I was the girl's mom, like, I would want to know who my
But-
child was going.
Oh,
Yeah, no bad.
no, I got it. I just want to say
God
something.
damn it, I'm trying to tell my story. Shit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But no, I was like, okay, well, because my son was like, you don't have to go in. I was like, I do, because if I was the parent of a female and somebody was trying to take her on a date, I would want to know exactly what they look like, and where they were going. Like, it's nothing. Like, I was in there for maybe like 37 seconds, but I felt like it made a difference because I'm the mother of a son.
But the small difference there is that when your son went out with this girl for the first time, you were the one driving them. You understand what I'm saying? So when this guy takes my daughter out for the first time, his parents aren't going to be driving him.
Okay, but why don't you say before it gets to?
But I've already said that. I said he ain't gonna take you
said
nowhere.
was-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was about to say, you don't know what you didn't say.
I apologize. Go ahead.
Before they go out, why don't you just meet the parents?
But that's what I'm asking. That's where I'm at with that. That's why I said,
Like, just
do I
like
meet the
when
parents
the
first?
kids
Like
were
that's what I
young.
don't know.
Just
Because
like when
for me,
when
I insisted. Like, I was just like, no, because my son was like, oh, well, you don't have to. Yes, I do. Because if I was the parent of a female, and you were taking her out on a date, I want to know exactly what you look like. I want to know what your mama look like, because your mama, like, for me, if I know you, your parents are theoretical. That doesn't mean that they're actually the people that are going to be driving you. So I need to see who is driving you, and I'm gonna let them.
Yeah,
know
I get
who
that.
gotta
I
be
get
back.
that. I get that.
I'm just like when your kids were younger and they wanted to go to somebody's slumber party, or they spent a significant amount of time with whatever child.
X, Y, and Z. Yeah.
I know my parents did. They did not allow me to go to that person's house until they met
knew
the
they.
parents.
I got you.
You know, that way you can get a feel for, like, if you go. I mean, if you meet the parents and you sit there and you just listen enough to the father run his mouth or the mother run her mouth, you probably determine whether or not, hey, the father got some issues, and those issues may trickle down into the son. So you may need to sit down and have a conversation with your daughter on what you observed.
Oh yeah, because my first conversation with my daughter is gonna be general anyway.
My first child mother.
Niggas ain't shit.
I met her. she was a straight A student, and I was in college.
You fucked it up, God damn it.
Yeah, she was good, and her mom and dad still together till today. And she was straight A student, working. She worked at Pizza Hut. I was hitting that joint behind Pizza Hut.
Wow! I knew that.
We got a kid together. We got a kid together till this day.
We
We got my oldest child.
No,
what I'm trying to say is, you can do all you want for a child. You can do your job is to do the best you can for a child. But what's in them is in them, and what they gonna do, they gonna do.
So that's
but you gotta be.
That's the point, though. Like, what's the point of scaring this guy shitless?
Yeah, because
who said we were going to scare him shitless?
The way y'all went.
Wow.
Because it's fun. It's fun to scare him, though. It is fun. I did that.
First of all,
I just want to talk to him.
First of all, it's hilarious.
I do. I just want to talk to the guy.
Well, see, my thing is, I'm not like I said before. I'm not the one he has to worry about. I promise you, I'm not. I can't. I coach football at high school, of course. People know that. So these high school guys, they got a mouth on them, right? So a lot of times they don't get Coach Joey when they start talking. They get this nigga that's about to start rapping to you because they start talking shit, right? And some of these kids are disrespectful. So sometimes, every now and again, I gotta get disrespectful back, and they be like something, and I be like, listen, let me tell you something. Remember, I am an adult, so you better get it together. So they be like, man, Coach J, something, and I be like, this okay, but your mother didn't say that last night. But see, when you attack a little boy's mother, the first thing they do is like, oh man, well, and they get puffed up in their chest, right? Yeah. And I was like, listen, if you don't want to talk about your mother, or if you don't want to see me when you go in the house that night, when you walk by the room. If you don't want to see me in the house, you need to calm down. So, you got to set them straight. You got to set them straight, though, sometimes. Sometimes you got to set them straight. I'm going to be honest with you.
Why do you guys talk about the boy?
Because sometimes you got to set these motherfuckers straight. You understand? But every now, she don't. And I ain't talking about her mother. I'm just saying.
In general.
I'm just saying, I might target your mother. You keep talking about me. You might see me in the bedroom while you walking past. That's all I'm saying. But...
What you doing in the bedroom, Joe?
They don't know. But if they see me, they gonna be like, oh, they gonna have a heart attack. You know what I'm saying? I could just be trying to fix the air conditioner. They don't know that. But no.
But yeah, nah.
But listen, I said because they be like, oh, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna try and talk to your daughter, and I'm like this. Let me tell you something about my daughter, dog. I am not the protector of my daughter.
She got 2 brothers, nigga.
I said first of
No,
all,
she protects herself.
I said first of
My
all,
son will gladly tell anybody. He's like, yeah, she's being nice.
I said first of all, my daughter's me. I say second of all, if you get to me, then you a nigga because you are something. Because I said the real one you gotta worry about, and I'll be honest with you, is her godfather because he don't let nobody near that girl, and he has daughters, but he don't let his daughters are young, so he ain't gotta worry about that right now. So his focus is on my daughter right now, and and I'm telling you, he's certifiable. By the way, shout out to my Amon. He gonna be on the show one day. We gonna call him up.
Shout out to the Godfather.
But
I'm a god.
he's certifiable, and he's never held his tongue. He's never shied away from the emotion that he has for my daughter. And if you are a dude that's gonna try to talk to my daughter, I promise you, it's not me that you have to worry about. I'm gonna have a conversation with you. Yes, I'm gonna have a conversation with you. I'm gonna pick on you because I pick on everybody. But I'm gonna have a conversation with you, and I'm gonna tell you that this is my daughter. She means everything to me. And if you fuck up, I promise you, and it's gonna be a problem. But
you know already, he is.
I understand that. But he gonna understand the consequences of his fucking up. But what I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is this. I'm just having a conversation with him. I'm not gonna try to scare the little nigga shitless. It's not me that he has to worry about. I promise you, it's not me.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not Joel.
It is not me. By the time he gets to me, I'm gonna be like, this dude is okay. Because he done got through whoever else.
Yeah,
But what if the prey is the predator?
I just think. Ooh, yes.
What if the prey is the predator?
Who, my daughter?
Yes.
Yeah, it could be that way.
Oh, she can get
That's
it too.
realistic.
She can get it too.
Oh, I don't. Well, first of all, first of all, she had to give him the okay because she don't like nobody. So if he dare, she probably is. I don't know. I'm just saying he did come to her, but you're right. Rose could
always assume that.
Rose could have been reversed. You're right. I mean, you know what I'm saying. But I'm not saying they crazy. She off the chain. Yeah. But
she'll get the same.
But she's also saying a lot of stuff about the fact that he wants to take her out and stuff like that. She's putting him off because she just doesn't have time right now, which is okay.
Shout out to my BFF.
She right now she's just busy.
Just
keep
him busy. Do the best you can and pray for him.
And
that's all you can do.
That's all I can do. That's why I said he get to me. I'm gonna have a conversation, but I'm not gonna scare the boy shitless.
Oh, sir.
Yes.
I admit.
Yeah, we all do. I'm not gonna scare the boy shitless. I promise you, I'm not. It's not gonna be me to scare the boy shitless.
It ain't gonna be.
I promise you, it's not. It's not gonna be me. I promise you, it's not. I'm not gonna. We might do a little bad boys bit maybe because that shit is funny.
No,
but I'm gonna do some funny shit. But it's not gonna be. I'm not gonna be like, dog. I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna shoot you in your face if you fuck around my daughter. I'm not that dude. I'm not that dude.
I have a question. The reason that I got baited in was y'all was talking about something that was real good about basically
the hose.
No, about the hose.
We did start off with Lloyd Harvey and being.
Yeah. No, it was basically honestly because it hit home. Like this thing been on my spirit about those guns in the school and everything, and everybody talked about what they wouldn't or what's wrong with this, that, and other. But I was just thinking like if each one of y'all had y'all own way, what would y'all do about the situation, or what would y'all change about it? What would you do to make it different? What would you do to help the whole situation about these guns and these people just getting shot in these schools, these underage guys or whatever. Most of them are underage, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, for the most part, they're either underage or they're on the borderline of being 18 years old, which means they can legally purchase a firearm.
Yeah.
So with that being said, personally, people may disagree with it, but I think the first law that has to change is firearms should be classified as firearms all the way across the board. So
It should
whether
be the
it
same rules
be
and regulations.
yeah, so
Okay.
you should be. I feel as if you need to be at least 21 years of age in order to purchase a AR-15, AK-47, whatever the case may be.
What age do you join the military?
18.
18.
Well, 17 actually.
So
Seven,
AK,
so
but you
it's,
don't
it's
get to
like
take
seven.
the
It's
gun
like
home
seven.
with you.
Seven is
At the end of the day, you
it's
put
supposed
it
to be
back.
18, but
And it
if
gets
you're
lost.
younger, you have to have parental consent.
Yeah, 17. Yes.
So it's like
But
like
if you
16,
in the middle of a
17. Like you can
conflict, you're not
enlist
putting
as
it
early
back.
as 16.
Middle of it.
So you can
Yeah, you're not
enlist
putting
as
it
early
back
as
in the middle of a
16,
conflict.
17,
like
18 years old.
if
You
But don't you
automatically
have to
sign up
get-
for
But if you that young,
for
but
the draft.
don't you have to have your GED or something
No.
Well, for
before
the,
you do that?
No.
for what?
For the army, if you
And-
doing it
and-
that young.
In the army, in order to take
Oh, the
the
military.
Okay,
you know.
in order to get into the military, you have to pass the ASVAB, and also you have to meet standards of having a high school diploma
That's
or
what
a
I thought.
GED.
That's what I thought.
But in the military, yes, you do, because I was in it. But in the military, and I was trying to send my son off, and he has to have his GED because I was like, he got.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So with that being said, but also in the military, when we check out our rifles at 18 years old, we because I was on guard duty with the rifles. You have someone guard them. And I had my gun. My gun was 082. You have to put the gun back every day. Every day. Unless you're in a conflict, like she said. Unless you're in a conflict, but you put your gun back every day. Your rifle is your buddy.
Yeah.
Your rifle is your
I have
pal.
heard that.
So
It's your
at
friend.
8, but we
I've
would
heard that,
before we shot that rifle. Listen, before we shot that rifle the first time, we went through 2 weeks of training. You understand? 2 weeks of real training to learn how to shoot it before we went to a range with somebody standing over our shoulder to shoot. But at 18 in the United States of America, you can purchase a weapon that can kill people. And being honest, you're not trained. You don't have to go through any training.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't have to have a record. But really, how many white boys have a record at 18 years old? You feel what I'm saying? And I'm not just going to put it on white boys, but I'm just going to be straight up with you.
But how many of them bury rabbits?
We don't do mass shootings because we can't. afford
We don't.
to.
And
Yeah,
these white
but
boys,
How many of them put
But-
bury rabbits in their backyard because they
But
killed them?
it is, but
So that, but
but
get
back to
it.
what you said, yeah.
18.
I'm sorry,
No, you're fine. 21 across the board to purchase firearms. I'm really a firm believer, and I'm a Pro 2 guy.
Me too.
But it needs to be 21 years of age around the board, unless you are, of course, military.
but that's the reason why I don't.
Well,
think that
my
will work.
question is, why would we, if I can buy a firearm, if I can't, my thing is this, if I'm not old enough to drink, if I'm barely old enough to smoke, then why am I old enough to die for my country? Like, you have to make it uniform. Like, if I can't drink, like, if I can see 99 motherfuckers get shot in their forehead in front of me, then I should be able to drink. And if I can't drink, then I'm not old enough to serve in the military. Like, you have to pick one. You can't.
Does the law say you're not old enough to drink or you're not old enough to purchase? Because
You're not.
there's plenty of parents who are drinking with their kids in the house.
Well, it's illegal to be. It's illegal. I think the law is that it's illegal to be in.
I don't think when you get a statement of law.
It's either consumption or.
It's both. It's both. It's illegal to
in the
purchase
hands
and
of-
it's illegal to consume.
Well, that's not necessary. Well, right.
It's illegal. If
It's
you're
illegal to
if you're
purchase and
caught
But you
drinking
can handle
underage,
alcohol at
that is a
18.
charge.
Well, it
But
depends
wait a
on
minute.
where you are, though. Because if I go to Mexico, I can drink when I'm 18, and I can come back and nothing's gonna happen to me.
Well, that's fine. But
Until
a
you
different country.
until you get pulled over in this country and then
And
you're
so I get
charged.
pulled over where? I'm on a plane. I'm not driving from.
Well,
Maryland
if you
to
get pulled
Mexico.
over,
But I'm just
if you
saying,
get pulled
like,
over
if
at
you
any
pulled
age,
over,
you're gonna get fucked up. So it don't matter.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
But you have to be you can't consume it or purchase it, but you can handle alcohol at 18. I know this because
I can't handle it, mate.
Because
No, we're talking about like handle.
you can pour.
You can pour
You
at
handle
18.
At 18, because at Six Flags I was 19 when I got that job, and they always had me go to like the saloon or whatever to pour drinks because I was the only one at the time, like in the evening.
Is that now though? I don't think
yes,
you can
now.
do that
That's now. That's
Yeah.
No, but they only
You can go
serve
with the
beer.
soda.
Like they don't serve alcohol.
Yeah,
Yes, you can serve
liquor.
alcohol. Yes, you can serve alcohol.
At 18, yes.
At 18, you can serve this stuff. Yes, because you can't.
You can't consume it, but you
can't
can.
consume
But you
it,
can.
You can't purchase it.
But you
But you
pour
can
people
handle
drink.
it.
But you can handle it.
serve
But you have to. But you have to have. But
You
you
can
have to
sell
be
it.
certified.
You can sell it. Maybe I should say that. You can handle it to serve it. To serve it. You can handle it to serve it. You can handle it to serve it. You can do that.
But you have to be
But
certified.
certified gives you class.
You don't have to be
Yeah,
certified.
you get
And
training.
that goes back
You don't
to
have
the
to be
guns. You
certified.
have classes,
You don't have to be
right?
certified. Not to handle it. You don't have to be certified.
But do you think
You just gotta make sure that you don't drink it, because if you're serving it and you get caught drinking, then you're fucked. You're fucked. But
And
you
so
can
is
serve
everybody
it.
else.
You can serve it
I
at
thought
18.
you had to. I thought you had. I thought you
I'm
had
listening.
to. I thought you had to.
What train number
I
is
was
6
gonna
That's
ask,
true. You know what I'm saying?
What do you say?
do you think training? Are you saying that training would like, I guess, mitigate the issue or prevent somebody?
I think so as well.
Because
Mandatory
I think-
training of a. They need to treat it as if it's a pistol.
I mean,
Because you have to take a class in order to get a. You know what I'm saying? In order to get in the
Yeah,
state of Maryland.
Pass the class.
you have to take
You have
the
to
class.
pa-
You
yeah.
have to pass the class. But the only thing that's just like with driving. The only supposedly with driving, the only thing that's going to teach you how to do is to be a better shooter.
Well,
Clearly,
check this
right.
out. Well, this is what I think.
Sure,
I think
sure,
in the
sure.
class it should do a mental psych, like some kind of mental evaluation
Let
in
me
the
tell
class.
y'all about mental psych evaluations. And that's why we have some nutcase law enforcement. Because it is easy
Yeah.
to pass.
Okay, so the problem with mental evaluation, especially when it comes to law enforcement, is that it's not a regular thing. Like you take one evaluation when you go in, and then the next time you take an evaluation is when somebody recommends for you to take an evaluation because they think you're batshit crazy. Like it's not like a yearly thing. It's not like a biannual thing. It's like not a nothing. Like if nobody technically thinks there's anything wrong with you, you don't have to take another mental evaluation. And I think it should be.
So is that why I ain't got
Required.
one in?
Well, see, here's the thing. When I train
Is that
drivers,
why I ain't gone on another
this is
one
what
yet?
this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. When I'm not saying a mental evaluation where it's like a cut dry, like
I mean,
you gotta do
nobody
this, that.
has to.
But,
like,
like-
they don't have to take you through a top secret clearance.
But what
type
I'm
shit,
saying is
but-
basically, as an instructor, if I'm an instructor, as I train drivers, I train the driver on if he's doing this X, Y, Z. At the end of the day, before he gets hired, they say to me, "Do you think he's ready?" or whatever. If I am training somebody on the range with a gun or whatever, I'm getting to know this person as well a little bit. Now, it's not going to work for every case, but you can get a bead on people if they're in a 2-3 week class of what the fuck going on with them in their minds. You can see that shit for the most part. And some are going to slip through the cracks. But if you put an extra notch out there, an extra step out there for people, it's going to be something that you save.
Yeah.
It's going to be something that you save.
So real quick. I got a question. So I guess what I'm saying is I think you're right, cause so that's like another deterrent, right? So I was on the radio. On the radio. Damn, I was listening to the radio the other day, and they was talking about burglaries or something like that, and they was like, well, if you have an alarm or something, that's a deterrent. And they was like, well, alarms ain't really going on, really on whatever. But in most cases, you don't know. In most cases, a person, a thief, is definitely going to look at the easiest score, right? So if you don't have an alarm or you don't have a ring bell or whatever, more than likely they're going to hit that house first. Now, that's not saying they're not going to hit your house. It might take a little more planning, but the average person that's just trying to get something real quick is not going to do it.
They're going to take
So,
a chance.
so when you put extra steps, I agree with that. When you put in extra steps to the gun laws and you keep putting extra steps, somebody's going to be like, man, fuck that, I don't want to do all that. To try to get something to do this, right? But there are gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be some people that slip through the cracks and say, "I'm determined because I am that evil. I am determined to get this fucking gun
Or I'm gonna get my daddy gun.
or whatever and do this, right?
And
All right,
yeah,
and they
people
gonna do
actually
this.
need to lock
They gonna
their
do
shit.
this. But I think extra deterrence is not a. It's not a
Deterrence,
problem to
thing.
do it.
It's
You
not a
should
bad
do it.
thing.
I think that should be done.
Deterrents are not a problem for people who don't have anything to hide. Because I have 3 guns already, and I have no issues with, like, people are like, oh,
Yeah, you know, but you're not gonna go shoot up a school either with them guns. Well, I don't know about you, but most.
Anyway,
I'm just
so-
saying, but what I'm saying is you don't have anything
Right,
to hide
but what
because you're
I'm
not gonna
saying
go.
is, if you don't have anything to hide, then a more in-depth background check should not be
But that's
anything
what I'm saying.
that affects you.
Yeah,
Like,
But
like 2 extra days should not have any effect on you. Period.
it shouldn't, but it
it's
will. if you
not
try
only
to
the
do it.
back. I'm just talking about not just the background check, but also
You're talking about like a
when
whole.
you're training and because you when you go get these guns in Maryland now, you have to take a class.
It's a
Yeah.
three.
You have to get certified.
It's a 3-hour
So
class.
therefore, the instructor
4
should
hours.
also be
yeah,
certified.
I want to
Yeah,
range.
but the instructor should be certified and do proper evaluation on these people. It's like as
yeah,
much as they
definitely.
can, as much as
Yeah,
they can.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
But I think, like you said, I think if you keep adding deterrents, though,
yeah, but not only just deterrence,
not
but
adding, but like you know,
yeah,
you just keep you make it all work. So like, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna say it would have stopped him, but let's just say that this dude was like, well, damn, I gotta be 21, like. Oh, I
I'll
gotta
wait
do
till I'm
this,
21.
or I gotta do
By
that.
then, he
I
might
gotta
not
do
be in the
that.
same mental place.
But
at
you know what I'm
21.
saying?
Right.
You're letting
If you
these
had put him off a
18-year-olds
little
get
bit,
guns. It's different.
because that was an
21
impulsive thing. So impulsively, he said, "Fuck this! I'm evil, and I want to do this." Right?
Mhm.
And he went. He said, "Fuck it! I'm gonna go get a gun. and I'm gonna do this shit." Right? He went and got a gun. It was so easy to get a gun that he wasn't out of his mental state. He was still in the same mental state. But if he had went to the jump and they said, "Nah, you gotta wait till you're 18," or "Nah, you gotta take this class," or "Nah, you gotta do this," that nigga would have been like this. Fuck this. And not saying he would have stopped at that point, but I promise you, it would have at least slowed him down enough to be like, even think about like, do I really want to do this, or am I going down this road, or do I want to wait for this, or do I want to try to act? Cause see, then you into asking other people for things, and they like, well, what? So when you start asking other people, when you start doing other things or involving more people, more shit come out as you know what I'm saying? What,
But that's what I'm
you
saying.
know, more of your
If you-
plans come out and shit like
If
that.
you're
Like that's what I believe.
If at 18, y'all wasn't doing what y'all were doing at 21. I don't think for the most part. So at 18 years old, stop getting these guns, letting kids get these guns at 18.
So what y'all gonna say about these kids who aren't like buying guns? They just getting them.
Okay, but that's what I was about to get into.
But okay,
That's what I was going to get into. At 18, first, you got to start with the law. The law first. You start with the law first. And the law is 21. That's when you can purchase a gun,
A
rifle,
firearm.
handgun, whatever. Period. 1. 2, with the parents. Hold these parents accountable. If you're not locking these guns, if they get these guns and they're not locking, because when you purchase a gun,
It
you
comes-
get a gun with a gun lock.
It comes
and
with a trigger
combination.
lock.
So if they're
I have
so
several.
no, we just
saying it.
we're speaking for the people.
We know you got that.
Yeah, so we speaking for the people.
You
So
look
with
like
this
you
being
got
said,
guns.
Am I
with
the
this
only
being
one
said,
that-
with this, wait a minute. With this being said, make sure that you have to have in your home your gun lock on your gun.
Oh
That's
yeah,
a-
definitely.
2, 3, ghost guns. A lot of kids are getting ghost guns. I know how to make them. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you got to crack down on being able to access certain things.
August-
If you order
August.
this, I can put that shit together. People do this all the time. A lot of these people are getting killed with ghost guns as well.
Because the fact that I can't get Benadryl without showing my ID.
or clearing the D without
That's
picking up the
It's
thing and
easy.
going to the pharmacy.
It's easier to get
It's so
a
much-
weapon of mass destruction.
Than it is-
Well, not mass destruction, but mass killings. It's easier to get that to go in there for me to go in the store and get Percocets.
Right, like,
You
I
feel what I'm
don't-
saying?
It's
I
easier
don't
for you.
give a
It's
fuck
easier
that-
for you to get an AR-15 than to get Plan B.
I don't get.
Hey, what the fuck is going-
I don't
Like,
get. I don't.
It's over the counter now.
Huh?
I thought it was still at the pharmacy.
No, well, it depends on where you go.
Believe me, that's how long it's been since I needed it. So I'm gonna tell you that much.
I mean, it may be locked up in the case in certain areas.
So Keisha, what would
Shut
you do?
up.
What would you change, Keisha?
That's what I'm saying.
What would you change?
I was
Just-
asking.
He got on it. Well, he finished his statement, and what would you change? What you think would be?
I
a good
do agree that a degree of mental health evaluation needs to be a priority. I do agree with that. I do agree with um, the age of maturity. What age? I don't know. I really don't
But
because
I think since,
Let her
okay, I'm
finish
sorry,
her
I'm sorry,
thing.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, go ahead, go
Let
ahead.
her get her
If I
shit
ask
off.
you,
I apologize.
Get your shit off.
Why are
we
yelling at me?
asking seven.
Why you yelling at me?
Let Seven talk her shit. Damn.
Let her get her
Right,
shit off.
right.
Get on my nerves.
And I said her government.
Y'all
I'm sorry,
talking
man.
way more than I did. I just said I'm
But,
No,
sorry.
you talk a lot. Let her.
I
do
said
that.
I'm sorry.
at the same time, I do understand that a lot of things happen based off of opportunity. Um, my biggest issue for real is not somebody purchasing a gun. It's the person who hasn't purchased the gun and they just passing the gun around in the neighborhood.
True.
That's that's been my biggest issue. So
Yeah, okay. That's another way.
But the gun passed around the neighborhood ain't doing a mass shooting.
it depends on how
The
you
mass shooting gun came from daddy.
it depends on how you define a mass shooting though, because these kids are running around here. This is my thing with these mass shooting situations, right? Every time it happens at a school, right? I sit back and I was like, yeah, that's a problem. It's a serious problem. It needs to be addressed. But at the same time, I also know that these kids, especially in certain areas where they're confined to certain neighborhoods and certain ghettos, quote unquote, where conflicts build on top of each other every day, and it's fueled by music, it's fueled by money and lack of money. They killing each other every day, every single day. So for me, that's just
That's bad.
yeah, just as bad. That's just as violent.
But babies,
It may-
little kids. Well, yeah, he and daddy are. But this is mass shooting with little kids.
But see,
Little kids are out here-
they,
you know how many cases I got with little kids?
But little
running around
kids
here
are getting
blowing
hit.
somebody's face off in
Yeah.
Chicago.
Little kids getting
Not
hit in the
19 in
neighborhood.
one day.
No, but little kids getting hit in DC all the time, though, because of straight
Not
bullets
even
and
little
shit.
kids just getting hit. It's little kids with these guns.
That's
yo.
true too. But as far as little kids getting shot, but like it's little kids getting shot from niggas trying to hit another nigga. Like
Yeah.
it's still a problem. It's still a problem in like you said, that's passed around guns, right?
Like for
So-
me, that's close to me
Yeah.
because I live. in
Like
the-
like
so
yeah,
I want that addressed.
I can't.
Yeah, I'm not being I definitely not being unsympathetic to mass shootings in
But
schools. I'm definitely not being unsympathetic about that. But I'm also aware that this happens every single day. And I can't recall the last time I woke up and haven't heard anything within the last year about someone in DC not being killed.
you know that's kind of
Or in the county. I haven't. I can't remember.
So basically you probably where I'm at right now, right? Where yeah, a mass shooting is like it's awful. That's awful thing. But I am more worried about.
Like for me, mass shooting happens. It's around the clock.
Yeah,
It happens every day.
But I feel like that kind of mass shooting is more likely to is less likely to happen than a straight bullet hit my kid. You understand what I'm saying? Like I'm more worried about that because it happens so frequently around my area or in my vicinity.
Yeah,
I'm more worried about that happening, but from a gun that's been passed around
Like,
or whatever.
I'm
Then
not worried
somebody
about
coming
a
up
Malvo
and
type person.
yeah, I'm not that worried about. Cause see, and I hate to get into like the stark reality of it, but like, when is the last time? Seriously, when is the last time you heard some kid run up in flowers shooting everybody?
But that's not happening. It's not
And
happening.
that's what I'm saying, But I gotta worry more about my kid getting into a fight or getting jumped or getting stabbed in that same school more than somebody from the outside coming in and shooting up the whole place. You know what I'm saying? Like at Blake last year, this year, the stabbing was it this year? This year, during football season, we had to pause for a week or something like that, or a few days because some dude stabbed up another dude in the bathroom. You understand? You know what I'm saying? Like one kid brought a knife or whatever into the joint and stabbed up another kid in the joint. My son when he first went to Flowers, my oldest son when he first went to Flowers, I lie to you not, he came home, or he came to practice, and he was like, "Dad, we had like 10 fights today." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah," and that was just like after lunch. What? And after lunch is like 2 hours. I'm like, God damn. He was like, "Yeah." This is his first thing to Flowers, like his first
This is
month.
introduction.
That's his first introduction to Flowers, right? And he's like that, and he a little kid. He don't know. He 14 years old. He don't know nothing. He just happy to be in fucking high school. And he just said, "Man, we had 10 fights." He was like, "Man, they was over here and they was over there." And I was like, and in my mind, I'm thinking, "Damn nigga, where was you at? Was you away from all this? Like, what the fuck was going on with you?" You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, but I'm more worried about shit like that happening in my schools or in my neighborhoods with stray bullets and shit than I am. And again, I'm not unsympathetic or whatever to match it. I think it's an awful, awful thing
Right.
when these people come up in this thing. But remember the what's the people when I was in college? Trisco Mafia. Remember Trisco Mafia?
Yeah.
They came around that joint, and I used to make jokes around Morgan as a walking across the street. I said, "I tell you what, if I see a white boy in Trisco, I'm going the other way." But am I really gonna see a white boy in Trisco at Morgan? No. I'm not worried about that really. That's why I'm making jokes about it at Morgan because I'm not gonna see that. But if I see a nigga with his windows slightly cracked with smoke and shit at night, and he turned off his lights and he start revving up, I might have to go back in the house real quick.
Shout out to the University of Maryland.
Cause I don't know if this nigga's about to do a drive-by or not. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what the fuck is about to happen in Baltimore at this time. But I know Trisco Mafia ain't coming around that motherfucker to shoot up kids because that's just not what happens. So I understand your point. Like I'm not that worried. I hope the problem gets solved, and I hope it gets solved with better than arming fucking teachers.
Yeah.
But
It's not.
in essence, I am worried about what's going down right now, and it's inside the schools or inside my neighborhood. Where if a nigga come down the hill too fast with no lights on at night, do I have to duck? You know what I'm saying? Do I have to get my kid? You know what I'm saying?
But laws aren't going to be made because of what's happening in the hood.
And that's true.
Laws are being made when you want
Right.
the guns. You start with the top and you work
You
your way
gotta get
down.
working there. Yeah,
The
you're right.
top is the mass shooting because
Absolutely.
it's happening in these
But
suburbs,
that's the
happening
thing.
other
So
places.
So
You
yes.
dip that and then you work your way down.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's how it works. But that's how it
That's
works.
how it works. But
Ain't nobody gonna make no law because some kid shot some kid in
But
the
this
hood.
is why it's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work like that.
Because the feds still do drop off guns in
Oh,
these
yeah.
neighborhoods.
They do.
Not on that drugs.
Well,
But that's another story.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
But I know these days.
I mean, never mind.
We talk on camera.
What?
Yeah, you know, all the way across the board, it's just it's
Oh,
it's
that's
weird.
another
The
thing.
whole situation is weird because, like, then you got one end of the spectrum saying that the only way that the gun laws will change is if African Americans purchase, you know what I'm saying, start to purchase guns. But that's a damn lie because the black gun ownership over the past 2 years has gone up damn near like.
but I think,
It has gone up, but it has.
104%.
but I believe, but I don't think it's still. I don't
It's
still
not
think it's enough.
surpassed.
I'm gonna say I don't think it's still enough. So let's
They
just
got
say
a
this.
head start.
Let's
too,
just say
though.
this. Let's just say this. So
They have a lot. They had a head start on a lot of shit that they.
I
didn't care
agree.
about.
I agree to that point, but it has to be a lot more
So you think
being brought up.
you
So
think more has to be bought before
Yes.
it changes?
So
But that's why I don't think. That's why with that whole narrative, it's not going to change because
Right. it's not.
it's not going to change for the
Nah.
simple fact
It's
that
not.
if you do it, if you regulate or change gun regulations now, you're stopping them from getting guns too.
I think
They're
the-
not going to stop buying guns.
They're not.
I think the premise behind that whole when black people buy more firearms was based upon if black people decided to arm themselves and become revolutionary, and so rise up against
What? But that's what I was. Yeah, right. So,
But they gotta know they
It has to-
laws
but
when
black
they doing that
people-
shit too now.
black
They can't
people-
just goddamn get guns and think they gonna run out
black
there and do
people
shit.
aren't going to do that.
right.
They
Black
gotta
people
know
are
they
not
shit.
That's the
gonna-
thing. Like
Black, if
now,
black people don't have all the space and opportunity.
that's the thing. Like if you,
That's what I-
but that's why I said it's
Pull
not.
up on the cap.
That's why I said it's not enough because if you had
Get y'all one, man.
right now we don't have the leaders
Mhm.
that'll scare people into something like that. Like if there was a Malcolm now, like something equivalent to a Malcolm.
Me?
He said he ran off and he told them people, get your guns, arm yourselves, do this, do that. And a rag of people started getting guns. Then there would be a second thought because now you have that leader. Wait a minute, now you have that leader that's strong enough and powerful enough and known enough to say, hey, we are a problem now. You understand what I'm saying? We don't have that person. But I think if we had that person.
We
don't
do have
need
that
that
person. We just don't listen to him.
Who?
And I'm not gonna say his name. But
Okay, we don't.
We don't
have that person.
we got him.
Where you at though?
Oh, he around.
We'll talk about it after. We got enough time. We've been here for enough time.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah,
I gotta get up in the morning.
Listen, we appreciate everybody who tuned in, who's going to tune in, and who came to support us. We are the.
You are now tuned in to the Talk Your Shit podcast.
Don't ever do that again.
Did you have your headphones on? No, you didn't. You good.
No, I'm talking
Oh, the
about
dance?
dance.
The dance?
Never. Never do
And we thank y'all for listening. We'll be back, and make sure you
Like, comment, subscribe,
there you go.
share.
Be hoe free.
And be home free.
I'm gonna get y'all a
We
little fast.
appreciate
so y'all
y'all.
can-
Yeah, y'all do your thing, man. Y'all be great.
And we out.
Go buy a firearm the right way.
And we out. That joke kind of long, huh?
This remind me of the scene of Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
Play it. Let's go.
I like the way everybody rock around.